Hello. Hello. Hello, chat. Hello, Blossom. How are you? Encore is crazy. Hello, Chlorine. Hello, gang. Hello, gang. Sorry for being late. I'm Encore. I slept in a bit. I was out with my friend last night, just talking to my friend. My shoulders also hate me. Oh, God. Oh, man. That sucks, bro. Did I realize that it hurts me when I see you? I'm really sorry to hear that. How are you guys? I watched the Michael Jackson movie yesterday. Woo! Woo! Shimon! Shimon! Woo! Uh, I wish it was a little better. It's good, but it could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot better, Chad. The Michael Jackson movie could have been a lot better. But it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I didn't know he did a lot of affirmations. He did a lot of affirmations. It's like, you're the best. You're the greatest. Get well, Blossom. The price of cooking too hard. Yeah. I hope you feel better, Blossom. MJ had a movie. Yeah, there's a MJ biopic out now. It's okay. It's a good watch. It's a feel-good movie. It's a good watch. It's a good watch. Would I say it's like the best Michael Jackson movie? No. In terms of biopics, I feel like Bohemian Rhapsody is still the best one. The best one is Bohemian Rhapsody, the Queen biopic. I was expecting that level of film when it came to this one, but it just wasn't. It just wasn't. And I was like, dang, it could have been so much better. But it's just like feel good, you know what I mean? I was sitting there like, oh, Simone. Yeah. But, you know, for a movie, it's all right. Feel good movie. You know, why not? Why not? Pretty good movie. Pretty good movie. How are y'all, Chad? How are y'all, Chad? I've been planning out my trip for Sunday. Gonna go around town, look around, look see, look at some stuff. Might get some stuff. Let's see. But yeah, I thought we could chill today for a bit. Maybe not too long of a stream. Just chill, watch some YouTube. Okay. Uh, what kind of videos would you like to watch, chat? What kind of videos would you like to watch? Excuse me. Let me see. What do we have? What can we watch? I don't know. Most of my homepage is like self-improvement stuff, and then music, and then random video games. And now recently, like, you know, Michael Jackson documentaries. When Akon met Michael Jackson, yo. When Akon met Michael Jackson, bro. Mm, you guys, okay, wait. Okay, let me see if I can find a good documentary. Okay. Wait, maybe not that one. That one's kind of aye. That one's a bit. Ooh, wait. Okay, this one might be sick. 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 Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's watch this one, chat. Let's watch this one. I don't think there's any copyrighted music, but let's watch this one. Oh. 1980.
Find out which songs and musical performers are this year's winners of
the American Music Awards. Here are Nicolette Larson and Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Careful of copyright stuff with MJ vids. Yeah, that's true. You know what? Maybe not. Maybe not then. Maybe not. That's not something I want to deal with. That's not something I want to deal with. What can we watch? What can we watch? You guys want to see some true crime? Let's watch some true crime, Chad. Let's watch some true crime. Let's watch some true crime. True crime. Whoa, okay. That's some dark stuff. Too dark for Netflix? Bro. Banned from Netflix. That's insane. Let's see. Oh. Okay. I don't know if you guys know Rotten Mango. I've watched their videos once. But I think they have some pretty good stuff. Okay, let's watch this one. It's called True Crime Fan Committed a Murder Out of Curiosity. Let's watch this one, chat. Let's watch this one.
Bada bing, bada bing.
It's 3 a.m. in South Korea, May 27th of 2023. So literally like a month ago. A taxi driver pulls over to pick up a young girl and her suitcase. He pops open the trunk. He even offers to help her put it into the trunk, but she's like, no, I'm good. Don't worry. It's not a big deal. I can do it by myself.
Okay.
She puts it in the trunk, closes it, slides into the back seat, and he glances at her in his rearview mirror. It's kind of late to be going on vacation, and on top of that, her destination isn't even to an airport or a bus terminal or anything like that. It's to the local park near the river. But who is he to judge?
What time was it?
3 a.m.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, he was just thankful that it was a pleasant, polite, nice young lady rather than a drunk businessman, which is typically the clientele at 3 a.m. He drives quietly to the park. She directs him where to stop the car, and she pays him. She slides out of the back seat and hauls her own suitcase out of the back of the trunk. Again, it looks really heavy, really, really heavy. She said, no, don't worry about it, sir. I can do it myself. I mean, the physical strength of the youth never ceased to amaze this taxi driver. They say their goodbyes. And he
top-notch storytelling, bro. This is top-notch storytelling.
Watches with a little bit of curiosity as she practically
I'm fully
into
invested.
the park towards the grassy field. What a strange, strange girl. She looked like what?
3 a.m. Big suitcase going into the middle of a grassy field. Huh. Sounds very sus. Sounds like a ghost. Sounds like a ghost, or, you know, somebody's trying to dispose of body. Either or.
Schooler? A high schooler at most. She looked really young. I mean, what is she even doing alone at this hour? And where's she going with the suitcase in the park? He decides to take a smoke break right then and there. He honestly thought that she probably would need a ride back. I mean, no taxi was going to stop in the middle of the park for her to get onto the taxi. It's near the river at 3 a.m. I think nothing good can happen to a young girl roaming around looking for a ride at this time. So he's smoking it up and he looks up. It's been about, 15, 20 minutes? And there she is again. And he's just watching her as she walks out of the park towards him, and her suitcase looks very light all of a sudden.
Uh-oh.
Because, earlier it was dragging on the wheels. It was kind of forcing her body to lean a little bit forward to pull it. And now it's practically flying around as she's moving it about.
Okay, yeah.
The girl asked him for a ride.
Pretty
back.
obvious here.
The whole energy seemed strange. It seemed like she didn't even notice that it was the same taxi driver. And he kept glancing at her in the rearview mirror as he drove her to her destination. Something in his gut told him, this isn't right. Like, something feels wrong. Where would she have gone with that suitcase? And why would it be lighter coming out of the park? Nobody just throws away their clothes in the park. She might be a middle schooler, but there is this energy about her. He would alert the police, and they found that she had been transporting a victim's dismembered body from the victim's own apartment to that very park. The taxi driver had unknowingly transported dismembered human remains, in the trunk of his car. He had sat in the car with a young baby-faced killer, not once, but twice.
Wait,
Dang,
he called the
bro.
police just because how suspicious it was?
They
That shit
searched
is
the grassy
scary, chat. Can you imagine that? That shit is scary. Ugh.
field in the park.
Wow.
Have you guys heard of the David situation? That one is messed up. That one is actually messed up. Jesus. Man, I didn't know that guy was sick. The guy is sick and twisted, bro.
Wow.
This case has recently gone viral in Korea for a number of reasons. Just the brazenness of the crime, the CCTV footage of the killer looking like a happy person. I'm going to show this to you. She's just skipping around with dismembered remains in her suitcase.
Oh my
She's
God.
got a cute little bob, and it's almost bouncing about. People say it's so unsettling because she has this childlike mannerism to her. This energy to her. There's dismembered remains in the suitcase. But
Ugh.
also, the fact that the killer was stated to have an unhealthy fascination with serial killers and an obsession with true crime documentaries.
Ooh.
She killed, dismembered, and disposed of a victim because she, quote, just wanted to see what it feels like to kill.
Oh my God. Chat, I'm not gonna lie. If like, I don't know. This is just me. I feel like it's weird if you're like constantly obsessed with like murder mysteries or like serial killers. I feel like it's weird. It's kind of a weird thing to be obsessed about. You know what I mean? That's just me. That's not healthy. I don't think that's healthy at all. My opinion. I do not think that is healthy at all. That's a bit, you know? Oh, sick intro. Ooh, really sick intro. Dang.
As always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com, but this is a developing case, and as always, this is the information that we have as of now. Things could change, they could get worse. I don't know if we'll get too much information considering the privacy laws in South Korea. Also, as per South Korean laws, the victim of this case and her family have chosen to stay anonymous, so throughout this case, we will refer to her with the alias of Hannah. And with all foreign cases, we had our Korean researchers work on this case to get as much of what
Damn, they got
that's
researchers. Damn, it's a production.
out there and compile it in this video for you guys, so let's get into it. The victim, Hannah, was a young woman in her 20s. She was tutoring high schoolers in English. I would not say tutoring is an easy job in South Korea. It's a very serious job. Parents are picky, over-involved, very diligent in picking the absolute perfect tutor for their perfect children whom they believe are entitled to be the next Einsteins. So it's a difficult job, but Hannah liked it.
Dang.
She was a university student at a prestigious school. It worked well with her schedule, and it made it easier for her to get a tutoring position to begin with. And she liked being able to help these grade schoolers get interested in English. She made the whole process fun for
An
them.
English tutor? Okay.
Wanted to be like a cool tutor. That was her genuine vibe. That's her goal. So in 2023, with all of the available apps out there, there is a platform for tutors. Tutors will sign up and they will be verified by the platform for having the specific credentials. They will verify with the
that's a
school
cool
that they're
app.
Student. They will verify their transcripts.
I don't know
grades,
if you need a whole app for that. That's kind of...
everything. to make
Do you
sure
feel like there's like way too many apps? Chat, I feel like there's way too many apps. Like you already have like what? If you got Instagram, you got TikTok, you got YouTube, you got like, that's like 3 apps on your phone already just for social media.
that these tutors that are
That's a lot of
online are
apps.
being advertised, their background checks. It's basically a tutor securing app that parents are obsessed with. Parents will go on there and they will look for tutors in every single subject for their elementary, middle school, and high school kids. The
Ooh.
demand for English tutors was actually pretty high, and the pay was fairly good. So Hannah had a lot of parents messaging her, inquiring about her services, including
Dang.
the mom of a middle school student who was, this mom was very adamant about hiring Hannah. Originally, Hannah declined this mother's offer because her house was so far away from Hannah's. I mean, she naturally wanted something closer because why commute if you don't have to? So she said, thank you so much. Like, I'm sure that your middle schooler will find a great tutor, but it's just too far for me. This mom really seemed to like Hannah, though. She even offered to send her daughter to Hannah's house, drop her off for these English sessions.
Whoa.
Hannah kind of felt bad. I mean, the mom seemed really desperate for her daughter to have an English tutor. Maybe she had an exam coming up. Maybe she was the only tutor that seemed to fit the mom's profile. It was strange, but she found it hard to say no. Besides, she really did like tutoring. She really did like helping students.
Okay.
May 26th of 2023, Friday, right around dinner time, so right around 6 p.m., Hannah slowly gets her house ready because this is the first day that this student is going to come over and they're going to tutor in English together. So she's cleaning up, wiping the table down, and she hears a knock on the door.
Whoa.
She peers through the little camera and she sees a preteen student, a middle schooler. Kind of short bob haircut that's curled outwards like how middle schoolers do it. It kind of stopped at her chin. Her glasses would make her cheeks look even rounder. And in many situations, I think most people would look at this face and think, oh, like what a cute middle schooler. She's got like cute little cheeks. And she's standing there wearing her school uniform. So Hannah opens the door and she's ready to start tutoring. There would have been no way for Hannah to have known
I'm
that
fully
this little
invested
middle
right now.
schooler that she had just let into her home was not actually a middle schooler.
What?
Yu-jung was her name. She was not a middle schooler.
No. What? Okay, this is getting crazy.
Yu-jung was not 12 or 13 or even 14 or 15 years old, but rather 23 years old. She could have potentially been old.
What? This was an adult? Bro. This is getting crazy. Okay, this is getting crazy.
Than Hannah. We don't know the victim's precise
My
age.
God.
The middle school uniform that she was wearing was purchased at a thrift store. And underneath it, she was hiding a knife.
Oh.
Within minutes of entering, Yu-jung established that Hannah lived alone. She pulled out her knife and viciously stabbed Hannah.
Yo. That is insane. Yo.
Stabbed Hannah in the neck only on like a particular spot / side. That's what a lot of the reports said, which would later indicate to a lot of psychiatrists that she had researched where to stab. She knew what she was doing. She also stabbed the same area on the neck over 20 times.
Jesus.
Once the 23-year-old pretending to be a middle schooler finished killing the victim, she relished in the satisfaction of a job well done.
Oh
She
God. Oh God.
spent the greater part of the evening at Hannah's apartment, possibly pretending as if this was her own apartment, even changing into the jacket that Hannah wore. She took a jacket out of Hannah's closet and wore it the rest of the night. The jacket that you see on CCTV camera is Hannah's jacket. CCTV cameras would catch this 23-year-old Yu-jung going in and out of Hannah's apartment, going back and forth from her own
This
place,
is insane.
hauling
This is some
cleanup
wild shit, bro. This is some wild shit.
and other times she would bring a suitcase, which indicates that while everyone believes that this is a premeditated murder, she was underprepared. But more shocking than that was that she was caught on CCTV looking very relaxed. She's taken taxis to and from Hannah's place, to her place, to the store to buy supplies. She's bringing around giant suitcases from her house to Hannah's house. She's going to a local store buying bleach, knives, trash bags.
That's crazy to me because Korea, you're saying there's camera every corner.
Korea is like the city. I'm sure it's similar in China and maybe Japan, like the city of CCTV.
What?
I don't understand either. Yeah. We're going to go down kind of a few conspiracy routes later, but it gets weird. She brings this suitcase and all these supplies back to Hannah's, and she gets to dismembering the victim. She
Ooh.
spends the rest of the night and into the early hours of the morning doing this. She then stuffs unspecified parts of the victim's body into a suitcase and hauls a cab. And again, just seeing her with that
Oh my
suitcase out in
god,
the
this
street,
is some evil shit, chat. This is some evil shit.
just the way that she's walking is so nonchalant. She's almost practically skipping. People say she almost has this
That's some serial killer
childlike
shit,
demeanor,
bro.
meaning that if we were to bump into her in the street, we would probably think, oh my god, I just bumped into like a little high schooler. Oopsie, sorry. Like, oh, she looks cute and innocent. She very much had a girl next door, sweet, innocent appearance that had viewers and netizens absolutely floored when they found out what was in that suitcase.
Jeez.
Around 3 p.m., she puts the luggage into the trunk of a taxi, directs the driver to drop her off near a wooded area near Hopo Station. This is near like the Nakdong River, and reportedly the killer, Yu Jung, she loved going on walks in this park. This was her favorite spot. She gets dropped off by the taxi driver, walks into the grassy area, and starts scattering the remains of Hannah. Seoul University forensic professor would say that even the grassy location by the Nakdong River could have been planned. The tall grass by the
Dang.
water, it holds a lot of insects and disinfectants, like I'm assuming it's like pesticides that would accelerate the decomposition of the body parts within a week.
Whoa.
So if she had not been caught by then, there's a high chance the body would have been hard to recognize or even how to ID the body.
Ooh.
Professor Yu is quite certain that she knew about all of this, which is why she chose to go
Premeditated, man. This is premeditated to a T.
this far with the body and even get in a taxi
To a T,
scatter the
Chad.
remains at this park. Perhaps her frequent walks around this park made her familiar with the area. It made her want to leave a body here. Now,
Oh.
it's all going according to 23-year-old Yu Jung's plan, except the taxi driver. She believed the taxi driver would not be able to tell the difference between a girl traveling with luggage for vacation at 3 a.m. versus a girl traveling with luggage full of body parts. The taxi driver would call the police, and it was very quickly traced back to Yu Jung. In a show called We Want to Know in Korea, it was revealed that another bystander actually saw Yu Jung throw away this huge trash bag of bloody blankets, bloody leggings, before she walked away with her rolling suitcase.
Ooh.
그게 담아가지고 보이긴 보면 금방이 납시다. 군대 세 군데 걸렸는데.
Again, just 5 hours later, she was arrested.
Wow, that was fast.
Yeah.
That was really
Now,
fast.
side note, there was a rumor circulating that the taxi driver had gotten out to help Yu Jung unload her luggage from the trunk, and as he was trying to help her, he had touched the luggage and felt that it was wet upon impact. The
Oh.
rumor was that he got back into the taxi, and you know how like the car lights turn on when you open the door?
Yeah.
And he briefly glanced at his palms and they were dripping with blood.
Oh.
That is a rumor. From what I can tell, someone anonymously came out and said that they were a colleague of the taxi driver, and that didn't happen.
Oh.
He just noticed that the weight difference and where she was going and all these suspicious things added up for him to call the police. He did not see blood.
Oh, he called the police.
did not
Okay,
feel
okay.
blood.
That's great.
You know, like for him to call the police, he must has some kind of
Like that gut feeling that you're like, I know I'm not going to be able to sleep at night. And it must have been so strong.
and that must be really, really
Yes.
bad. I wonder if he's actually thinking, oh my god, is this a body?
Yes, I did see a lot of netizens say the fact that it's speculated it was a male taxi driver. The fact that a male taxi driver that has probably seen so much in South Korea, so many bizarre things at 3 a.m., 4 p.m., 5 a.m., you know, any time of the day. But this little girl with luggage unsettled him so much. Because I think it's one thing if a girl is driving and there's like a creepy man with luggage, we're already on guard. There's always this feeling of like, I always think something is wrong. But for him to be this upset and unsettled by what looks to be a middle school girl, it must have been bad. There
Dang.
must have been some sort of, and I hate to say it, like some sort of energy that she was giving off, like some sort of weirdness that was happening.
Oh my god. This must have been the craziest vibe ever. Craziest, like, sketchiest vibe ever. Can you imagine that, chat? Can you imagine, like, chauffeuring a killer? Jeez.
Police rush to the field where they find the scattered remains, and with the help of the taxi driver describing what she looked like, approximately
Oh
where
my
he picked
god.
her
Now
up,
now it's just creepy. Now it's just creepy seeing the face.
where he dropped her off, she was quickly located and arrested.
출동해서 이제 체계하다 보니까 출동해 보니까 또 우리 검정부에 가 보니까 또 내 산적이 있는 거예요. 그녀를 이제 거기에서 지금
Authorities asked her, Why would you do this? How could you do this? Who did you do this to? Because at this point, they did not have an ID of the victim. Now, upon arrest, Yoo-jung seemed very calm and collected. She was young, just 23 years old, but when the police were questioning her, she didn't seem that alarmed. She just very calmly explained, well, the dismembered remains that you saw, if you must know, they were my baby. I delivered a
What?
baby at home, and I killed it because I don't want to be a mom.
Okay, this is
obviously.
wilder.
I'm young, I was going through a psychotic break, and I killed the baby and scattered the remains.
Oh, that's still
I'm
jail
not
time.
sure how she thought that she could get away with a lie like that, because very easily you could pick up some of the remains. I'm sure that there are medical examiners that can give you like a brief, hey, that's not a baby's bone. I'm also not sure how she had so much confidence, even though this is so easily medically debunkable. I mean, her body doesn't even have evidence that she was even pregnant. So after arresting her, the authorities also found Hannah's ID nearby. This was left near the remains, along with some bloody clothes and other body parts.
Ooh.
So now they know who the victim is. They go back to Hannah's apartment, they find more evidence of the crime, and they tell Yoo-jung, like, that's not your baby, we know it's not your baby, give us the real truth. That's when she starts complaining of stomach pain. She's like, ooh, my stomach hurts. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. Because
What?
she's in police custody. See, this is where the police are better than me. Because if you've committed like a blatant murder and you're telling me that your stomach hurts, you never told me that. You and your stomach can hurt for the rest of the interrogation. You're not gonna die, okay? Why should I care about you when you don't care about human life? But because she's under police responsibility, they rush her to the hospital, and surprise, surprise, she's lying. There's nothing wrong with her. So after the hospital debacle, the police bring her back into the interrogation room and they ask her about the events of the previous night. The police also take her phone and they start searching through it, and they just have so many questions. Did you know the victim? Did you target this victim? Why would you do this? How long have you been planning this? Are there other victims? Are you working with someone? She clearly was not being the most honest person, so the police, they start going through her phone.
Dang.
And we're going to come back to all of her lies, but let's go through the phone first. The
Okay.
police check her phone hoping to get some answers. They found a colorful search history where she had searched online for tips on how to hide a
Dang,
corpse.
she searched it up.
She also had watched a
The search history, chat.
ton of true crime documentaries, allegedly feeding off on
Insane.
it said that she just really wanted to know what it felt like to kill.
Ugh.
Yeah. We're going to get back to it.
Ugh.
But something the police rarely see was that her phone was empty. Just like everything. Not like she had wiped her phone and deleted everything, but digital forensics revealed that Chung Yoo-jung, her phone, she was not in contact with a single person. She had no
Whoa.
contacts in her cell phone, which I know some people don't save contacts, but she had no messages, no calls coming in or out, none. Nothing. No friends, no family, no social media interactions. No one was contacting her.
Dang.
In this day and age,
That
of
is creepy.
2023, how nearly impossible is that? She was truly almost like a ghost. Chung Yoo-jung was born in 1999, very young. She,
Okay,
like
wow.
a lot of people, was born into a pretty volatile house. Her parents were always busy working. They were too busy to take care of her. She was sent off to live with her grandfather, and he was the exclusive sole guardian throughout her entire childhood, which I think is interesting. So in a lot of cultures, and Korean culture as well, it's common for grandparents to move in and raise the grandchildren while the parents are busy working. But her grandfather was listed as her sole guardian. So, I mean, that to me indicates whether her parents were divorced or they were not present at all in her life. If it was to the extent of negligence or abandonment, I'm not sure. But the fact that her grandfather was listed as her sole guardian, I think something must have happened with her parents. I'm sure it probably impacted her in some way to not have
definitely.
her parents around, to not having this loving dynamic that a lot of kids have. But I mean, it's been proven time and time again that a child's first example of a relationship is with the parent.
Ooh.
So, we don't know. It's just something to consider. Ultimately, we have no idea what happened, if anything, but we know that it wasn't the most stable home. Regardless, growing up, Yoo-jung was regarded as a very specific word that I've never really heard in cases. Invisible.
Ooh.
Not just quiet, not
Invisible.
just shy, not just introverted, but invisible. Her former classmates said if you said hi to Yoo-jung in the hallway, like if you waved to her in the hallway, she would never say anything back. She
Wow.
wouldn't even smile back. She wouldn't nod in acknowledgement. She wouldn't even wave back. She would basically just ignore your existence.
I knew some people like that from school, chat. I knew some people like that. I mean, I feel like every stage in my life, in every class I've been in, there's always been someone like that. Always, without fail. You try to talk to them, they're like, nah. Or in some cases, you do try and talk to them, and it's just the vibe is so strange. It's so strange. The things they say is sometimes so strange. And I'm like, what happened here? You know? Not strange in a oh they're misunderstood way. Just strange as a human being. Just strange. You know what I mean? Just strange. Just weird. Like you don't want to stay for too long. Like you want to be out of this vicinity. You know what I mean? Oh, whoops. Where were we? Was it here? Yeah.
They said that Yoo-jung never spoke or replied to any of her classmates. So if you were a classmate and you were asking her a question and she knows you're asking her a question, the room is silent and you go, hey, Yoo-jung, can you pass me that? She wouldn't even look at you. She would not respond to you. If it was an elder, like a teacher, authority figure, or even a neighbor, if they asked her a question, she would avoid eye contact and answer just yes or no. Outside of school, Yoo-jung never even left her home. Neighbors reported almost never seeing her out, walking around, hanging out with friends, going on walks with her grandpa, inviting friends over. Nothing.
Dang. What?
It's stated, and this is kind of random and super specific, but Yoo-jung hated talking to people, but if she were at the convenience store and she was owed like a penny back in change, most Koreans stated that they just wouldn't ask for the change. They'd be like, oh, keep the change, because they don't want to walk around with this penny. They don't know exactly what to do with this penny. It's just kind of a hassle.
That is true.
The person who hates talking would ask for that penny back no matter what. That was like the one time she was very vocal. She was like, give me my penny back. Which is fine. She's entitled to it, but people
Oh
just
my god, I knew people like this in school. I knew people like this in school, chat. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's kind of interesting to note. Contrary to a lot of speculation, former classmates also stated Yoo-jung was absolutely never bullied. So as far as we know, nobody picked on her. Nobody forced her to retreat into her shell and go unnoticed. Nobody verbally, physically hit her. Nobody bothered her because she wouldn't even wave back at you. It's like she would just float through the childhood like a...
Most people like that ain't a serial killer though. They just broke. That is true. That's fair. That's fair. I'm just saying, like, you know, some people, like, okay, I knew this one guy. He had a little tiny notebook that he would write down, like, if you like you're like, hey man, I don't really have any water bottles right now. Could I have some of your water from your water bottle? He would calculate the amount of gulps you took, and he would write down, like, okay, you owe me like 50 cents. Like, who does that, bro? Who does that? Who does that? He's like, you owe me 23 cents. I was like, it's just water. That's some form of OCD, I think. Really? I see. He was just, I don't know, man. This guy was weird, bro. He used to steal people's stationery. And then when you question him about it, he's like, oh no, man. What are you talking about? This is mine. What are you talking about? Even if you're like, I know this mark on my pen because it's mine. This mark right here where I dropped it. This is my shit. And he's like, nah, man, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. So he did that so often. And one time my friend was like, I think he put a, that ain't weird. That's just high school. LMAO, everyone is entitled to everyone's stationery. Oh, man. It's crazy times. If it's in someone's hand, it ain't yours now. No, exactly. But he had a habit of, like, picking out people's expensive stuff. Like, when nobody was looking, bam. He would, like, dig through people's bags and shit. So one time my friend had this genius idea. He took his, like, faulty pen, the one that was, like, his G2 pen. If you guys know the G2 pens, you know that shit leaked. Sometimes when it leaked, it really leaked. So he took one of his faulty G2 pens and he put it in his pencil case to see if he would take it. And guess what? He did. And guess what happened? His bag was soaked with ink. Nah, them pilot pens be like royalty. Yeah. So he did that just to see. I think some of the guys like dunked water on his things and his bag and shit. You take my pilot G Tech 0.5, you best be throwing hands. Yeah, no, the G2. Listen, I got a G2 right here. I will die for that G2. I will die for that G2. It's like, oof. That was like the writing instrument, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think these guys got fed up and they just like dunked water. Also, not gonna lie, this guy was a creep to women. So he 1000% deserved all the shit. He 1000% deserved all the shit. He was a creep. This man was a certified creep. I will not go into details because it's just that creepy. I will not go into details here. It's just that creepy. But yeah. So they dunked water into his bag and shit. And he came back. He's like, what happened? Oh, my water bottle spilled. Oh no. Oh no. And everybody else was like, oh no. Oh, whoops. Oh no. So, yeah. Crazy times. Crazy times. Crazy times. Also, he was a huge tattletale. A huge snitch. This guy was the biggest snitch you could imagine, bro. The biggest snitch. The biggest snitch. Okay, anyways, yeah. That guy, weird vibes. There's another guy in my class also who just kept to himself. I hope he's okay. He didn't bother anyone. He was okay. He was just a very misunderstood guy. And also he had a bunch of weird stories. But he was an okay guy. You know, I hope he's doing well. I haven't seen him in years. I hope he's doing well. You know?
A ghost. This seems to be like a choice that she made for whatever reason. She would be so good at being unnoticeable that she could walk into a room and no one would look up or even hear anything. Her presence was unknown. She was unseen. She was unremarkable in almost every way. We have no idea if she desperately desired to talk or to say something or wanted someone to listen to her, as if she was invisible and she didn't want to be. She couldn't stop. Maybe her brain blocked that part of her life or blocked that part of her socialization. I don't know. Or on the flip side, you could argue that this was a choice. She didn't like people. This was her own little rebellion to not talk to people. She was deliberately ignoring them. But she did kind of unsettle her former classmates. So they never bothered to get to know her, but they reported that she would sit behind curtains alone.
Ooh.
So like imagine there's a curtain. She would just sit behind it.
Ooh.
Just like hiding herself, but not really hiding herself, because you would see that there's a human behind the curtain and then you would look at the shoes and then you'd be like, why is Yu-jung behind the curtain? Sometimes
the hell?
you would hear crunching noises from behind the curtain and she would just be behind the curtain eating snacks.
커튼 뒤에 항상 좀 가 있고 뭔가 간식을 먹을 때도 막 커튼 뒤에
Oh my, what?
반에 사실 존재가 없는 애였는데 그 당시에 친구가 없었고 해도 인사 자체를 받아주지 않는 친구였고.
A professor named Lee Soo-jung was interviewed about this case, and as an expert in teen psychology and behavior, they stated that she had unusual behavior for a teenager. They said that adolescent ages...
Unusual is underselling it. Patrick Bateman. Nah, man. Patrick Bateman was actually very, like, look, I feel like Patrick Bateman is the example of Two-Face. This guy knew how to exist in society, but like when the cracks broke, it really broke. When the cracks started to show, it really started to show. You know what I mean? That's different from this. This is just straight up recluse.
of pure curiosity of your peers. You want to know what your peers have to think, have to say about everything, how they dress. You want to get to know everyone your age. You have this like innate desire to understand them because you want to be part of your peers.
That is true.
This is not like anything we've heard.
Yeah, this one's very weird. And it's gonna get weirder. So far it's weird, but it gets
If the YouTuber that mainly covers true crime says this isn't like anything that we've heard, yeah, this is pretty weird. This is a messed up case. You know we're in for a good time, Chad. We're in for a crazy ride. If the YouTuber says this is weird, this is a crazy one. It's a crazy one.
The professor stated that if they were to evaluate this type of behavior, they would categorize it as psychopathic tendencies and or
Whoa.
behavior that is being displayed at an early age.
Psycho.
So Yoo-jung puts in as much effort into her schoolwork as she does getting to know her classmates. Another thing that stood out to former classmates is that Yoo-jung was never angry. She was never upset. She was never depressed. She never had this like passion against everyone like, oh, I don't want to talk to any of you guys because you don't understand me. I stand out. I'm different. She never had that. She just seemed so utterly neutral about everything. So incredibly passively indifferent.
Dang.
And in hindsight, a lot of people said that might be scarier. But she still managed to graduate in 2018 from the Gyeonggi Girls High School. She had no clue what she wanted to do with the rest of her life, which, you know, is very normal. But she also had zero intention of trying to explore things and figure it out. After she graduates high school, Yoo-jung had no social outlet. She had nothing on her schedule that would force her to interact with people, with teachers, like high school did. Like, she doesn't have college. She has become totally disconnected from society the day she graduates high school. She would stay in her room all day, no connection with anyone. She would tell her grandfather that she was holed up in her room studying for the public government official exam. But it is clear Yoo-jung used this as a delay tactic, an excuse to have in her back pocket if her grandfather ever noticed that she has no social life, that she's not getting a job, that she has no plans for her future. She would just milk the crap out of studying for this exam for the next 5 years. Every day it was, oh, you know, Grandpa, I'm studying for the entrance exam. She was receiving financial support from her grandfather while she studied. He expected that she would pass and afterwards she would find a job and she would get paid and hopefully pay him back for all the hard work that he's done because he's a grandfather now. And I'm sure that there were even moments that the grandfather was proud of her because she never spent time hanging out with friends or just doing nothing.
Dang, man. Dang, man. The emotional toll. The emotional toll, man.
Studying. She seems so dedicated to her studies. Now, if you think that he's in on it or gullible or that
I feel like I'm not gonna lie, Chad. I'm being very honest here. I feel like sometimes my family just thinks this, like I'm wasting away in my room. But you know, I try to talk to them and try to be like, hey, look, I'm actually putting in the work here. Look, this is what's happening. And sometimes they're like, okay, yeah, okay. You're making moves. All right, we see you. But sometimes it's just like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? But that's okay. That's life. I know what I'm doing. I know the direction I'm going in, and I'm going to keep going in that direction and keep working and keep, you know, doing my thing.
You should have known. It's a different generation. He didn't even know that
and
you
it's going to
needed
be
have
worth
a
it, you know?
college-level proficiency in English to even qualify to take the exam, which Yoo-jung was clearly not proficient in English, and that's kind of something that is pretty easy to tell, and it might be why she chose her victim. Now, we're going to circle back to that. In 2017, Yoo-jung applied multiple times for a job as a golf caddy. She submitted her resume and wrote, after leaving high school, I started preparing for the college entrance exam. I enjoy being active and meeting other people, and I really want to try this role. Thank you. But once she got a call for an interview, she did not say a single word.
Oh.
Even when the interviewer asked her standard interview questions, it was silence on the other line. Silence. She refused to talk.
Why?
The recruiter was so confused because she's like, you applied for the job. Why won't you talk? Because you applied for the job. It didn't look good in the recruiter's eyes, and of course, she didn't get the job.
Of course, it
But when
didn't look
she
good.
found out that she was rejected from the position, she went as far as to call them back and curse them out for their decision. She
Whoa.
kept demanding to know why. Why was I rejected? And they didn't really want to tell her because, well, you were strange. You didn't respond to any of the questions. We thought you were a little weird. They didn't want to say that. So they just said, oh, well, we're looking for an English speaker and you're not proficient in English. It is speculated that Yoo-jung started developing a hatred for those who were good at English.
Ooh.
And maybe this is why she ended up online searching for English tutors to murder.
Wow.
Her victim, Hannah, was a young, successful, accomplished university student at a
Crazy
prestigious
chat.
school who was also an English tutor. She was everything that Yoo-jung was not, and that may have been why she was targeted. Now let's talk about her true crime obsession. But first, why was she even obsessed? Because of the lack of any contact on Yoo-jung's phone after she was taken in by the police, the word hikikomori has been coming up in discussions about her case. And quick disclaimer, I don't think that Yoo-jung was, but there is a connection. We've talked about this previously on the Japanese serial killer cases that we've covered, but since that's been like over a year, let me give you a refresh. In Japanese culture, there is a phenomenon right now where
Ooh.
adolescents and young adults have become very reclusive. Usually after graduating high school and into their adult lives, they will live in basically voluntary solitary confinement, usually in their parents' home. Some of them will go years.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh wait. Okay. Wait. No. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good though. I'm good. I'm good. I was like, wait. That's sounding a little too real. That's sounding a little too real. I was like, wait. No. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm not a recluse. I'm not a recluse.
Without even talking or running into their own family members that they live with in the same apartment. Not massive White House with a west wing and an east wing. I'm talking a 3-bedroom apartment. Many of them stated they will coordinate their comings and goings out of their room to not run into a single human being.
Whoa.
Sometimes these people will also go decades without seeing anyone outside of their immediate family members. Now, according to the Japanese Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare, side note, there is no good translation of hikikomori, but the Japanese government has defined it as the state of avoiding social engagement, education, employment, and friendships with generally persistent withdrawal into one's residence for at least 6 months as a result of various factors. So while
Dang.
it's pretty difficult to get exact numbers, estimates say that there are at least over 1 million hikikomori in Japan alone, probably close to 1 million in South Korea, and potentially millions in China.
Whoa.
And it's become such a problem for Japan and really everywhere else. But the Japanese government even released a guide for the hikikomori on what to do in the event that their parent passes away.
Oh my
For
god.
them.
Yeah. Because there was a case where a hikikomori, his mom had passed away in the house and he did not report her body or do anything.
Yo, that is wild. That is wild, bro. Nah, man. I cannot imagine that kind of isolation, bro. That would drive me insane. Nah, bro. No.
So
That is
I was
wild.
looking through a Reddit forum to understand the mindset of the community, and I don't think that Yoo-jung is one of them. And I want to clarify that hikikomori are not dangerous people. Yoo-jung is not one of them. I mean, she could go out. She liked to take her little walks in the park. The only same consistency that they have is that they had no social interactions with people. There is a Redditor who wrote, if something forced me to go outside, like a sudden fire inside my house, I would be unable to step outside into the world.
Whoa.
Another Redditor said, see, it sneaks up on you. You think it's okay for a month, and then you do it for 6 months, and you think it's not that bad. Then you do it for a year, and then 2 years, and then you realize that all of your peers are light years ahead of you economically, socially, mentally. You feel like there's no way you can even try to catch up now. So what's the
Dang.
point? It's been known to psychologists that the more one doesn't socialize, the less they know how. It's something that you can technically forget. It's like talking. You have to learn to talk again. And it's this vicious cycle of not socializing for even longer because you forget how to do it and then repeat and repeat. It's happening in Japan, China, South Korea, the United States. Some behavioral scientists have credited this retreat from society to the overwhelming pressure of succeeding in Asia's work culture after high school. So in China, some people actually attribute it also to the fact that the population has profoundly more men than women, saying that this puts so much pressure on men looking for partners, whereas women can be a lot more selective. So these men decide, I don't even want to partake in this game that society plays. I want to completely withdraw. So why is this happening all of a sudden in this age?
Dang.
Because of technology. So back then, there were hikikomori in Japan, and most of them would read manga, they would watch like DVDs and stuff. But now with the internet, people feel like they really don't have to go outside.
This shit is crazy,
Everything can be
chat.
done online. They can watch shows, they can watch YouTube videos, they can talk to people anonymously without the threat of feeling exposed or vulnerable. They can go to safe forums that they can communicate with. They can do everything online, especially in places like South Korea, Japan, and China, where everything can be delivered at your fingertips in record time. It's so easy to never leave.
That is.
I mean, it's gotten so bad. There's actually services where you can hire young, pretty women, and typically they're hired by parents of hikikomori, and they'll come and try to talk to the predominantly male community. Like, they'll come and talk to your son and try to lure him out of his room.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
It's estimated that this phenomenon is affecting millions of people.
How much
around
would
the world.
one make from that? That would be like big money, right? But that's so weird though. Oh man. I don't know, Chad. I don't know about this. I don't know, Chad. You gotta try and socialize, Chad. I'm telling you guys right now. You gotta try and like get out there, you know. Regularly. You gotta get out there. At least hang out around people. You don't have to talk to anybody, but like at least hang out around people. You know? Oh man. Yeah. You gotta constantly be trying new stuff, Chad. Honestly. Honest to God. You gotta be constantly trying new stuff. Please don't let this happen to you. Please. Please don't let this happen to you.
World, and it's honestly very heartbreaking. It's just
Jesus.
it's a very lonely existence, I imagine. And again, I don't think that Yoo-jung can be fully categorized as hikikomori, but regardless, she probably felt the effects of the lack of social connection and almost complete social isolation, which risk of that is mental health issues like depression, anxiety, substance abuse. You can even get chronic conditions like high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, higher risk of dementia, because you're not socializing.
Oh my God.
And again, just another disclaimer, like most mental
I think I
illnesses,
heard about that, like the effects of like long-term isolation.
is the hikikomori
Crazy.
lifestyle. I mean, this is typically only detrimental to the person themselves and maybe perhaps their family members who have to interact with them and try to provide for them and help them. But most of the time, they are just non-violent, introverted, modern-day hermits. There were a lot of hikikomori that were interviewed, and they said, you know, it didn't matter because it just started like 1 or 2 days. I would just stay in my room and be on the internet, and I thought, this is nice, I like it. And then it was a month, and then they were thinking, this isn't too bad.
I feel like just years fly by, you know what I mean?
And 6 months crept in, a year crept in, 2 years crept in, and then a lot of them report feeling like it was too late, like they had already ruined their life. They felt like I already spent the most formative years, the most important years of my career. There's no way I can get a job in the competitive Asian work economy. Like, people just out of college, of prestigious colleges, they can't even get a job. I've been doing nothing for the past 5 years. How am I going to get a job? A lot of them report deteriorating health, a lot of weight gain, and, you know, when you're in your room and eating cup ramen all the time and just staring at your computer, a lot of them report having a lot of acne, and that would just prevent them from going out even more. They felt awkward around people. They felt like everyone was staring at them weirdly. They just felt like they didn't fit in, and the longer it went on, the harder it was to reintegrate back into society. And so most of them just thought, I'm just going to stay with my computer. That's it. That's what I'm going to do. And Yoo-jung was kind of like that in the sense that she was obsessed with her computer, with her electronics, and she was primarily obsessed.
I think even if you work from home, it can very easily lead to this shit. So you gotta be like, hey, I know what I'm gonna be. I don't want to let this happen to me. It's very easy to be like, oh, everybody hates me, this stuff. But it's all in your head, you know what I mean? You gotta be honest about it, and you gotta be like, hey, man, I need to get a grip on my life. I have people that love me. I have people that care for me. I need to reach out. You gotta reach out, man. You gotta just reach out, like, hey, reach out to somebody, you know, a friend, a family member, somebody, and be like, hey, can we hang out? Can we talk? Hang out would be the best. Away from, you know, your house. in my opinion, this is why society needs to romanticize art again, and why AI is very creepily extinguishing people's will to have hopes and dreams. That is true. And also, like, uh, the instant gratification. I feel like I saw this video or like a clip about Markiplier talking about it. And I think he has a pretty good take. It's the people that use AI for art never really liked art in the first place. You know what I mean? Also, this is a very weird pause. It's a very weird YouTube pause. It's that one line in Dead Poet Society. People need money, food, cars, house, and that stuff to live. But art, poetry, and music and all that stuff is what people live for. Exactly. Great movie. I love that movie. Great movie. Exactly. But yeah, that's exactly true. You need it. You need culture. You need society. You need friendships. You need strong bonds. We are very social species, human beings. We try. I used to talk about this with my friend too. I was like, when I was thinking about it deeply, I was like, look, what makes us, or like what evolved us into the beings that we are today? And it's just, we are individually, we are very talented, but the strength of what made us succeed in life and what continues to make us succeed again and again and again is not the individual, it is the community. One person can get far, but not too far. But you put three people together and you can take over the world. You put three people, you just need like two other people, you can take over the world. I really do believe that. So, to the point where like isolation like physically destroys you. I mean, that's pretty clear. That's a pretty clear indication. I think we're losing that slowly. But the people that are trying to, better themselves and meet more people and like vote BadDayan for president. Wait, actually, no. No. But I mean, that is why I try to always be here for you guys. I try my best. I don't do a good job sometimes. And, I'm sorry, but I try my best to be there. I try my best to be there because I believe in you guys. I believe in myself, and I believe in you guys. You guys are good people. You have goals, dreams, ambitions, and you actively chase for it, which is a very, 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 very good thing. I'm always going to be a big supporter and believer in that. And so what I'm trying to say is like, never lose that. Never lose that, and always like look for people. Look for people. Of course, like nothing malicious. Like don't do malicious shit. But anything that can benefit you, benefit society as a whole. Why not? Why not? Always try and help out if you can. Always help out, Chad. Always help out. That is the core of life. The core of life is always helping out. Your purpose is always to help society as a whole. I feel like that's the essence, or like the greatness of life. To be a light for other people, or to like help out whichever way you can, because that's like, Maslow's highest hierarchy of need. Yeah, exactly. Community. Helping people that are less fortunate than you. We all have a form of privilege, and it's okay to recognize that. But it's also, when you do recognize that, then you realize like, oh, okay, I have a responsibility to help those in need, or to inspire those in need. It's like that. Okay, we got to do ad break. Quick ad break. But yeah, that's my 2 cents.
With consuming true crime documentaries. Now, I know that most of you guys that are listening to this episode, because you have an interest in current events and or true crime itself. Now, I can't speak for you guys, but that's how I started. I would watch a true crime documentary and I had nobody to talk about it with, and I just wanted to talk to someone about what I had seen, what it made me feel, how it made me think about the world, how it made me
You see? You see? You see? She reached out when she had nobody to talk about it with.
think about the justice system, and I wanted to share the
Oh wait, chat. I gotta take a break. I gotta take a break. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Okay, chat. I'm back. Okay. Okay, let's continue.
these like thoughts and stories with someone. But I think like if I really look back on why I started watching these documentaries years and years ago, it kind of made me feel like I knew what was out there. Because like it makes me feel like I know what kind of evil is lurking in the shadows. I know what kind of people, scary people are out there. So maybe I can prepare myself and understand some of the warning signs. So it made me feel like I was being proactive in my safety. It felt like it was safer to know than not knowing what kind of evil existed. And it eased a little bit of my anxiety. Like that's kind of how I felt. And I read a lot of comments in here that say very similar things. That is not what Yoo Jung got out of it.
Okay. Now that whole ideal is like clarified for me. Okay, I get it now. Okay. Nice. I get it.
Fixated on the killers of each documentary, and she asked herself, I wonder how they feel. I wonder how it felt for them to kill.
Jesus Christ.
And unlike most of us, she did not have a healthy human level of curiosity where we have other interests in life. Yoo Jung did not care to even watch documentaries about cases of injustice or about all these cases that have gone unsolved that need people's attention, or to help bring justice to all these victims' families. She literally
Jesus.
watched these documentaries for inspiration.
How do we
Oh
know
Jesus.
this,
So they found a bunch of true crime in her phone records, like shows, like digital footprint, and that is what a lot of psychiatrists believe. And she said that she wanted to feel what it felt like to kill.
Ooh.
That's another thing. There is a conspiracy that she actually didn't kill because she was obsessed with true crime. Yeah. So I think this is where the whole video
Ooh.
games argument kind of comes in. I don't think that there's a single thing in this world, especially a piece of media like a documentary, video game, or a movie.
Video game.
Nothing could make me kill someone. And I'm sure that the same goes for all of you.
Yeah.
Psychiatrists have actually come out and said, we don't know for sure if this is her motive. So as of right now, she's being labeled as someone who is so obsessed with true crime that she killed someone just to feel how it feels to kill. A couple of psychiatrists said, we don't know that for sure. We think that a lot of us are connecting these dots because as a society, we feel better knowing, like kind of what I just said about true crime documentaries, we feel better knowing that there's almost a reason. When we don't know, it makes it scarier. So we're going to get into all of that. But anyways, she escaped her reality to exist and relish in the reality of being a murderer. She would eventually become so engrossed, allegedly, so obsessed that she had made up her mind and she was going to kill to see how it felt. So we know how the crime went down. She was arrested and she tried to lie and said the remains belonged to her baby that she had to kill. And when that lie was exposed, the police found out who the victim was. She changed her story once more.
Dang.
She stated, I did not kill this girl. I was just hired to dispose of her body. I am not the one who killed the victim. Someone else did it and I'm just helping because they promised me something in exchange. What would they promise you? I was promised Hannah's identity. She's saying, I just wanted to commit identity theft and identity fraud, not murder.
Ooh.
Many psychiatrists would later speculate while this is a blatant lie, she is the killer, but it does give insight into her own thoughts and desires. She wanted Hannah's life. She was
Yeah.
jealous of
Ooh,
Hannah's life.
okay,
She
okay, that
wanted
makes
her
sense.
identity. And side note, police found a digital footprint of her watching the South Korean movie Helpless multiple times prior to the murder, and this is allegedly one of her favorite movies. It's a Korean thriller. The movie is about a couple who are traveling to meet the husband's parents in the countryside.
Can you imagine like the Netflix subscription of these type of people? The Netflix subscription of a killer. A Netflix search history. Like watch history of a killer, chat. Yeah. Insane. A Spotify playlist of a killer. Oh god. Oh god.
Korea. They end up stopping at this rest stop and getting coffee. And when the husband returns to the car, his wife is gone. She's not picking up her phone, she just vanished. He's like searching through the rest stop. He finds a little hairpin in the bathroom. She's not in the bathroom. He drives all the way back into the city, goes to her apartment. The apartment looks like it's been completely ransacked. So he's like, what the hell is going on? He gets his cousin involved, who is a former police officer. And they find out that the wife has been stealing other women.
Watched Texas Chainsaw once and was like, he's me for real. Bro, no, man. No, bro. No. Come on, man. Corin. No, man. Come on, bro. Okay, let me tell you guys a story. Let me tell you guys a story. I meant serial killers, bro. Oh my god. Bruh. Okay, let me tell you guys a story. I had a friend, right? He was obsessed with Joker. Obsession to the point where like he had like not just a movie, like the character. All right? I think he has like a Joker tattoo or something like that. Obsessed. Like he felt misunderstood, I guess. He felt like, you know. So I went and watched Joker with him, right? He was laughing the loudest. And he would come out of the cinema and he would just laugh like that randomly. And I was like, bro, okay, it's not funny anymore, bro. Okay, it's not funny anymore, gang. Hi, Sivan.
I need an arm and a leg. I need an arm and a leg. Cardi and love it. Arm and a leg. Head and check, bitch.
Why so serious? Welcome in. But yeah, I had a friend like that. And he was so obsessed. Turns out, this guy's a raging narcissist. So yeah, there we go. I don't know. I feel like if you idolize a very, very, very problematic character, like if you idolize like Patrick Bateman or something, that's a huge red flag. That's a sign right there. There's a problem with that. If it's like a very like clearly deranged psychotic character and you idolize that person, that's I'm not talking about like making jokes being like, oh yeah, literally me. That's fine. I'm talking about like idolization. There is something very wrong somewhere. There's something very wrong somewhere. You know what I mean? Do you guys relate? There's something very wrong somewhere, chat. For real.
Women's identities. And is
It's fascinating the extremes of Gen Z weird kids nowadays. It's either furry alpha wolf wannabes or school. School what? Okay. That is kind of true. There was a case here one time. I think recently in like high school, like this guy like confessed to his crush. He got rejected. Stabbed her. Crazy times we live in, chat. I'd rather see my school weirdo dance FNAF songs in the hallway. Exactly. I'd rather see the random weird kid like what was that word you told me the other day, Clorin? You know, the guys that like step behind me. You don't want to see the alpha wolf, you know, those kind of guys. You told me that word the other day for this type of people. I forgot. Alpha wolves? No, no, no. That was the other word. It started with a C. It's like a. No, it's like, yeah, it started with a C. It's like, I forgot, man. I forgot. Junibyo. Yeah, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. They stand in the corner and be like, you don't want to see the real me. 8th grader syndrome in Japan, for real. For real. For real. I'd rather see that. I'd rather see that than whatever the hell this is. You know? Yo, that's so accurate. They do it again. What? Get behind me. You don't want to see the real me. You don't want to see the real me. I can't control it once it comes out. I can't stop what's about to happen to you. Chat clip that. I can't control the real me. You don't want to see who I become. Quit messing with me. God damn. And you're like, bro, it's not that deep. It's not that deep, bro. It's not that deep. No, once I bring out my Sharingan, all of you are gonna feel my wrath. Crazy. And you're just like, okay, man, I just asked for a pen. I just asked for a pen, man. It's not that deep. Not that deep. Just ask for a pen, bro. Like, I get the reference. That's cool. Like, I just asked for a pen, bro. Also, me and my friend were talking about this yesterday. I was like, bro, it's kind of weird how hobbies and like interests that were like considered niche 3-4 years ago have suddenly like blown up to the point where like scalpers are everywhere. You know what I mean? Like Pokemon Go trading cards, for example. Like 3, 4, 5 years ago, it wasn't as big as it is today. It was pretty niche. And now there's like scalpers everywhere. Just for Pokemon Go cards. Or like niche anime, video games too. Video games, like retro video games. Crazy. Crazy. I feel like it's like almost a trend or a flex to be like, hey man, I play. I play the OG Silent Hill. Whoa, I play the OG Silent Hill. Or like, have you heard of Kuon? Yeah, I play Kuon. God damn, you don't even know that. It's like a flex now to be like, hey, I'm cool. Whereas back then, you'd get bullied for like even talking about it. You get bullied, bro. You'd be like, ew, you're weird. You like that shit? You. I think the Pokemon Go crazy in 2016 and the recent VGC trends have pushed Pokemon a lot into the spotlight. Yeah, exactly. Also, the SCA baiting with winds and waves. Nintendo knew the SCA Unity would pull up. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. They know. Hey, they know. Nintendo knows. Huge market. They were like, okay, let's tap into the market. Let's get everybody. I mean, great business decision. Great business decision. You know? That was a great business move. It's probably making them a ton of money right now. But I'm just saying, I was talking to my friend and I was like, yo, bro, I feel like niches aren't really niches anymore. Like, they exist for a while and then they just blow up and then you can't really... You're gonna get LARPers. My whole problem with it is LARPing. I get that, you know, let's say if like it blows up, let's say if I weren't into Pokemon cards, but now I'm getting aware of it, and I'm like, hey, okay, I think my friend knows more about it, and it'd be like, hey man, I'm just getting into this. I don't know anything about it. Can you like help me out? That's completely different compared to like LARPing. Yeah, I've been into this for years, bro. Yeah, I knew this. Yeah, watch One Piece. You know, my favorite character is Luffy. That is crazy. If you don't know, just say you don't know. If you're getting into it recently, just say you're getting into it recently. Just say that. Just say that. Like the LARPing chat, the LARPing is insane to me. I don't believe in LARPing. I believe in like, you know, just be honest. You know what I mean? Just be like, hey, I'm new to this hobby. I know you know more than me. Can you help me out? Like, what's the best way to get into it? Is this, you know? I believe in that. Anyways.
Probably a killer. It's like a dark and windy thriller, but the fact that that's her favorite movie, I don't know. Some people say, see, like she really wanted someone else's life and maybe she's trying to recreate the movie. Others said, what if she's setting up some twisted alibi?
Ooh.
What do you mean?
Like some psychiatrists believe we can't trust a single thing that comes out of her mouth. So we don't know the motive. We don't even know if she wanted to take Hannah's life because she was jealous of Hannah. They said that this could be a well-spun fabrication, that she was watching this movie to find out her lie. I'm going to lie and say I was trying to steal her identity. So does that make sense?
Yeah, so she's just constantly lying.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, we
Dang.
don't know at all.
So you don't, there's no baseline of truth. There's no baseline.
Anyway, the police know that this is a lie, though, that she did not kill Hannah. She definitely killed Hannah. So they keep pushing, and Yoo-jung quickly changes her story once more, and she stated that she killed Hannah because she got into a fight with Hannah. And the police are fed up. They don't believe this because why would you get into a fight with someone you don't know, and why would you trick them into being your English tutor if you don't even know them? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
So they did not believe this lie either. And while she's being stalled by investigators, the cops were able to look up her family registry in the system and call Grandpa Jung, the man who raised her. He rushes to the police station and his whole universe shattered that day.
Oh no, not the grandpa, man. No, bro.
Family, he raised her like his own daughter and he felt like a complete and utter failure.
No.
How could he have failed Korea so badly by raising a killer? Grandfather Jung rushed to the station and the police asked him to talk to his granddaughter to get the truth. He cried as he begged his granddaughter to confess to her crimes. He pleaded with her, just admit your sins. For me, do it for me and my integrity. And she had given her grandfather nothing except a lifetime of pain. And Grandpa Jung had given her absolutely everything.
Dang,
this was
bro.
the least that he could ask of his granddaughter. And Yoo-jung confessed her crimes. I don't know if she did it for love for her grandfather. I don't know if she felt like, this is it. I mean, I'm going to have to fess up. I don't know what it was. Grandpa Jung would later be interviewed as he was hounded by the South Korean media. And he reported, I feel really sorry for the bereaved family because I am a sinner who raised my granddaughter wrong.
Ooh.
I never expected this situation. I never even imagined this.
This must have destroyed him, bro. Not grandpa. No, this must have destroyed him, chat.
When Grandpa Jung's neighbors were also interviewed after the fact, one of them reported, the girl was calm, quiet, and kind of, but the grandpa was a really nice person.
No.
So it's safe to assume that Yoo-jung was just a bad apple. Grandpa Jung was potentially just another one of her victims.
Crazy,
When
chat.
Yoo-jung confessed to the police, she cited her motivation as, I just wanted to experience murder. I just wanted to know what it feels like. She said that she had been planning this murder since February, so a full 3 to 4 months.
Wow.
And with a confession and a crime scene full of illuminating evidence, the authorities prepared for her prosecution. She was officially charged with murder, damaging of a body, dismemberment, and a third charge of body abandonment, scattering of the remains.
Ooh.
On June 2nd, around 9 a.m., before appearing before the prosecution, she said 2 short sentences as the media questioned her for her crimes. She said, and I quote, I was out of my mind. Like I didn't have my right mind. I'm sorry for the victim's family.
혹시 피해자를 왜 살해하셨습니까?
피해 여성을 범행 대상으로 특정한 이유가 뭔가요?
피해자와 유가족들에게 정말 죄송합니다.
살인
Oh,
충동을 혹시 언제부터 느끼신 걸까요?
피해자는 유가족께 할 말 없습니까?
피해자 유가족분들에 대해서 진심으로 죄송합니다.
살해 후에 여러 차례 집을 오가셨는데 혹시 이유가 있었을까요?
실종
oh.
사건으로 위장하려고 했습니까?
제정신이 아니었던 것 같습니다. 죄송합니다.
혹시 범행 전에도 좀 이런 식으로 범행 대상을 물색하신 적 있었을까요?
Bro, I don't know how people can
범행
stand that
사건은
close to
어디서
her, bro.
배웠습니까?
It's so unsettling.
오랫동안 구직 활동을 하셨다고 했는데 그 앱도 오랫동안 이용하신 건가요?
Ooh.
지금 신상 공개가 됐는데 여기에 대해서 어떻게 생각하십니까?
할 말이 없습니다. 죄송합니다. 검찰 조사에서 성실히 조사에 임하겠습니다. 네, 이상합니다.
Dang. Dang. This is so crazy.
She also ended her press interview with "Thank you," which professionals believe that she copied from past criminals' interviews, behaviors, and attitudes. Yeah, so a
Why?
lot of like
Oh.
She
killers.
act weird.
Yeah, like a lot of killers in documentaries, they'll give press conferences and like end it with a "thank you" in Korea. And I guess the way she said it didn't feel natural. Kind of felt like mocking behavior. Not mocking, but copied behavior.
조사에 임하겠습니다. 네, 이상합니다.
So many netizens who followed this case as it blew up have criticized her words here, believing that her apology is this pathetic attempt at appealing for a lower sentence. They said that she was using her childlike innocence or her youthful facial features to try and get away with murder. However, due to this case blowing up, there's a chance that the high-profile nature is going to pressure authorities to sentence her with a much stricter sentence. Yet the length of a sentence doesn't seem to mean much to Yoo-jung. According to police, she's doing great in jail. She's calm and not the least bit scared or anxious. She's eating well, sleeping well, and not feeling much remorse, or at least none that people can see. Side
Dang.
note, netizens were so
That's a
enraged about
killer.
this comment that many of them dug into the Busan prison menu, and they found out that the prisoners were eating better food than given to the military during their services.
Oh my god.
The menu
Dang.
is high in quality, lots of healthy options, fresh veggies, and even has dessert options.
Wow.
Netizens were wondering how the food is better than the food that they eat at home, and there were questions of, should our tax money really be used in this way? After her appearance in front of the media on June 2nd, her results from a test that measures psychopathy was released 4 days later on the 6th. The psychopath test was created by a Canadian psychologist, Dr. Robert D. Hare, in the 70s.
Okay.
It's called the Hare Psychopathy Checklist,
Okay.
and it asks 20 questions that are supposed to hone in on your true nature.
Okay.
Professionals allegedly use it to assess cases of psychopathy, and it has even been described as the single best predictor of violent behavior currently available. The psychopathy measurement test functions on a scale out of 40. So the lower the score, the least likely you are to have traits of a psychopath. So psychopaths, they typically score on average of 25. That indicates a very likely tendency to be a psychopath. I think normal people fall around like the 5 or 6 range.
Has anybody
some of
hit
the
40? That's crazy. Has anybody hit 40?
Prompts or questions, I guess, include, and you answer them yourself. So you would answer like, oh, I strongly disagree, somewhat disagree.
Chat. Oh no. Glibness, superficial charm. Oh, previous diagnosis as a psychopath, egocentricity, grandiose sense of self-worth. Okay, nah. Proneness to boredom, low frustration tolerance. Okay. Pathologically lying and deception, conning, lack of sincerity, lack of remorse or guilt, lack of affect, and emotional depth. Oh God. Oh God. Callous lack of empathy, parasitic lifestyle, short-tempered, poor behavioral controls, promiscuous sexual relations, early behavior problems, lack of realistic long-term plans, impulsivity, irresponsible behavior as parent, frequent marital relationships, juvenile delinquency, poor probation or parole risk, failure to accept responsibility for own actions, many types of offense, drug or alcohol abuse, not direct cause of antisocial behavior. Jesus. Hey, thank you, Seven. Thank you, Steven. Appreciate that. Get behind me. Get behind me. You don't want to see. Wait, let me watch it. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Actually, let me watch this. Wait. I want to watch the clip. I want to see if it's how accurate it is. Hold on. Let's see. I clipped it as well. Oh, thank you, Clorin. Thank you guys for the clip. Wait, let me see it. Okay. Wait, I gotta adjust this now. Oh. Worth it for the adjust. Worth it. Okay, let's see. Get behind me. You don't want to see the real me. You don't want to see the real me. I can't control it once it comes out. I can't stop what's about to happen to you. Oh, Jesus. Ugh. 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 Oh, Jesus Christ, chat. That was... Ugh. I got bad goosebumps just from that. Jesus, nah, man, nah. Nah, chat, nah. Ugh. I can't believe I did that. Oh, man.
Disagree.
I cannot believe I did that.
Does not apply. Like all these things. And they would say things like, I generally evade responsibility and do not answer to anyone in my life.
Thank you guys for the clips.
So that's like really easily you can pick whatever you want.
Yeah.
So is it in her best interest to fake that she is?
I mean, probably not, because psychopathy is not related to being in a state of psychosis. You are not, like, you're still in the right headspace. You just lack empathy and all these other things. But
dang.
Okay.
And they would say things like, I have a grandiose sense of self-worth. I have a history of exhibiting cruelty to others. And the patient rates themselves. On her first evaluation, Yoo Jung scored 15 points out of 40. And even though 15 is higher than the normal range, which is about 5 to 6 for a normal person, it's still below 25 points, which is the threshold for psychopathy. However, on June 7th, she went through a second evaluation and she reportedly received a score of 28 points. Some notable comparable scores include Ted Bundy, who got 39 out of 40.
Ooh.
And John Wayne Gacy, the clown killer, got 27 out of 40. So she scored 1 point higher than John Wayne Gacy.
Dang.
She ranked 1 point higher than Kang Woo-soon as well, which is a notorious serial killer in Korea. He kidnapped and murdered 8 women. He scored 27 points. She scored 28. I will say, though, the test has been criticized by some researchers and experts. But regardless of what you think a score indicates or doesn't indicate, it's clear that Chung Yoo-jung was at least not a normal person, and at most a budding serial killer. Police found evidence that she had been contacting multiple tutors. According to a professor, Oh Yun-sung, a specialist in criminal psychology, they said if she hadn't been caught on her first kill, there's almost 100% chance that she would have killed again.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I can see that. But the fact that the way she did it for the first time, it's so stupid.
Yeah, so I think that's where a lot of people say the grandiose sense of self comes into play. A lot of these psychopaths sometimes overestimate their intelligence.
Huge
and
ego,
to
narcissism.
Things. Is the speculation? Because she did seem pretty confident in that CCTV video. It just, it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Now, another criminal psychology professor chimed in to state that they believed Chung Yoo-jung is a pathological liar. The professor even goes as far to speculate that everything Chung Yoo-jung has stated so far, her obsession with true crime, her wanting to feel like what it's like to kill someone, all of that is a lie. All except for the fact that she killed Hannah. That is the only thing that they think we should take as fact. Nothing else should be considered. The professor claims we might not even know how meticulously she's been planning or how far in advance or even what her final goal was. Another criminal psychologist states it's way too early to determine why she even killed. They said that we as a society are quick to believe her reasonings, not because we are gullible, but because otherwise the message would be that no one is safe from such a random type of murder and monster.
Dang.
And that is more terrifying. Now, side note, on June 8th, the Busan police gave an award to the taxi driver who reported the crime to the police. However, the taxi
Let's
driver
go.
refused to take the prize and he actually quit his job. According to colleagues,
Oh.
media has been looking for this taxi driver, like hounding this man down.
Dang.
People around him said that he's terrified. Has so much trauma from this encounter. He had driven this young woman with dismembered body parts in the trunk of his taxi at 3 a.m. The taxi driver is doing everything that he
Oh
can
no,
to
this
remain
poor
out of
guy,
the
man.
public eye. He has not given any public interviews, and some theorize because South Korea is notorious for letting people out. He does not want his name out there because he was that terrified of Chung Yoo-jung that if she is released, he believes that she will track him down and kill him.
Dang.
Is the speculation. Now, as for the tutoring app that
That's
Hannah
crazy.
has been utilizing to find clientele, a lot of tutors have deleted their profiles because of how easily accessible the tutor's personal information is. The original purpose of this app is to assure that the parents have tutors that are actually credible, that are going to the schools that they say they are, that are getting the grades that they say they are. The tutoring app, though, they don't background check or verify anything about the parents, just the tutors. And they responded to these concerns and said, yes, okay, yeah, we get it, but because we cannot verify parents of the students in the app, it's, what can we do? So they've done little to solve this problem and protect the tutors.
Dang.
And this type of crime is not unheard of in Korea. In 2022 December, one man faked his identity as a high school student and lured a female university student/tutor to his house in an attempt to essay her. Reportedly, in
Oh,
2021,
no.
one man also faked his identity, kidnapped a university student that was a tutor using a similar app, keeping her hostage for up to a month and subjecting her to many essays.
Jesus Christ. Nah, chat. Nah. Nah, chat. Nah. Crazy.
So, this is the case as of right now. I am sure that there will be more developments, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on this case? I do think, and I'm obviously biased because I'm someone who is deep in this true crime world, but I think it's like the argument of video games. I don't think that there is any piece of media that can get someone to kill.
Yeah.
And I think the way she went
I
about
agree.
it and just her callous nature in that CCTV footage, it's just very unsettling to know that she had just killed and dismembered someone. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys on Sunday for the main episode. Please be safe.
Jesus. Michael Jackson. W video chat. Chat, go support this video, please. Go support this video. Hold on. Support this video, chat. Support this video. W video. Very, very, very well done. Please go give it a like. Give it a like. Subscribe if you want to. W video. W video. Okay. Shall we watch another? I want to see if there's a ghost story one or something. Wait, what is this one? True case behind incantation horror movie. Family of 6 possessed by demons till one is dead. Bruh. Okay. Let's watch this one. I think I've seen TikTok clips of this video. But let's see. Let's watch this one.
Bada bing, bada boo.
Ever since Ronan, a mom in Taiwan, she's invited her daughter back to come live with her.
Yo, why her outfit kind of slay though? Yo, slay, bro. Hey, man, slay.
Since the two have been reunited, very strange things have been happening. 6 years ago, something happened where
Slay, bro. Sick outfit, bro. Okay, wait.
Strange things have been happening. 6 years ago, something happened where the mom, Ronan, could no longer take care of her daughter anymore. Her daughter's name is Dodo, and she could hardly take care of herself, let alone make sure that Dodo is being safe and well fed. But that's 6 years ago. Ronan today, she's different now. She's ready to be a mom again. She can take care
Loves this movie? Really? Okay,
of
okay.
her daughter Dodo. After 6 years of being apart.
Is it scary?
obviously
Is it really scary? How would you rate it? Is it really scary? Wait, I gotta rewind that.
But that's 6 years ago. Ronan today, she's different now. She's ready to be a mom again. She can take care of her daughter Dodo. After 6 years of being apart, obviously the initial meeting is definitely a little awkward, but there is this connection there because that's her kid. So for a little
Yeah. Like it like settles with you. Oh god, I say it's ominous. Oh my god, can't even pronounce. Ominous and creepy, then scary. Oh god, nah, 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 nah. Nah, bro, nah, 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 nah. Asian horror movies always do it different. Asian horror movies are so much more scarier. For real. Asian horror movies are so much more scary, especially like the old school ones. Insanely scary. Like the 2000s ones or even older than that. It's so scary.
while, it seems like the two of them, they're gonna go home. They're gonna slip into a very natural, familiar family life.
I never watch like Asian horror movies because I know it will mess me up for like years. Years.
Just enjoy doing all these mundane things that they missed out on together. But then, all these strange little things start happening, and they're not little. On the very first night that daughter Dodo returns home, they hear this huge bang in the other room, and there's this sound of shattering glass. Ronan runs into the next room to investigate because it sounds like a home intruder or something. But when she gets in there, all she finds, the floor covered with shattered glass, and there's a tiny little cockroach. It seems like the cockroach crashed in through the window, breaking the glass. Is that even physically possible? It's so strange. Later that night, Ronan notices what looks like a burst eye vessel inside of her daughter's eye, but it's very eerily shaped, like the shape of a cockroach.
How old is the daughter?
6.
Whoa.
And I think if that were all, maybe Ronan would try to look past it and start fresh because, you know, there could be explanations for all of these things. Maybe the glass was already shattered. Maybe the cockroach is just a coincidence. There can be 1,001 explanations. But things start becoming unavoidable. It's not even just the small things anymore. Like, how do you explain when Dodo wakes up one day and her entire mouth is filled with teeth? She has double the amount of teeth. They're practically growing on her tongue. They're everywhere. Or the fact that Dodo, her daughter, is able to magically shut doors. She could be on the other side of the room and the door swings shut. The window's not even open. It's not a breeze. How is she doing that? And who does she keep talking to?
Oh,
she keeps
Jesus
talking
Christ.
to someone that doesn't exist. Like she's playing with invisible friends that aren't actually there. Yes, it's her daughter, but it's not normal. And she's confident that the real reason, the real problem here, is that Ronan is cursed. She's haunted, and this curse is being transferred to her daughter.
Jesus.
6 years ago, Ronan, for the sake of a YouTube video, entered this forbidden tunnel, a sacred space, and ever since then, her life has been cursed. And now her daughter is gonna die unless she can find a way to help her.
Jesus,
and this
Chad.
sounds very much like the plot of a movie, does it not? And that's because it is. That is the plot of the Taiwanese horror film Incantation. The reviews for that movie read, it's terrifying, exceptionally dark. If you can't watch anything terrible happening to young children, don't watch this.
Oh,
it's the
nah,
type of
nah.
movie to break your brain.
Nah, nah,
I
nah.
watched it, and the movie stayed with me for years. I still think about it to this day.
Oh,
Not
Jesus.
in a good way. But the truth is, the movie Incantation is actually based on a true story of a family in Taiwan and what happened to them when they get cursed by a demon. How they are tortured for 2 months straight until one of them ends up dead.
Jesus Christ, Chad. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Okay, I gotta go pee. I'll be right back. I gotta go pee. Pee break. Pee pee poo poo time. Pee pee poo poo time, Chad. Okay, I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back. Okay, chat. I'm back. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get into this. Ooh, Rotten Mango.
We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the Pan Foundation. They focus on accessibility to healthcare, aiding underinsured people with their out-of-pocket costs,
Oh, wow.
as well as actively advocating for improved access and affordability.
Oh.
This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team, and we'd also like to thank you guys for your continued support as we work on our mission to be worthy advocates. As always, full show notes are available
Wow.
at rottenmangopodcast.com. This is another international case with very little resources available.
Ooh.
We did our best to translate with professional native speakers, but of course, if there's anything mistranslated, miscommunicated, or any additional information, please let us know down in the comments. Today's case also mentions some mental health conditions. This
is a very, very, very well done production, man. I gotta say. Very well done.
Compulsive eating of non-food items, physical assault, and a brief mention of SA. So with that being said, I do actually have another disclaimer. Listen, I have a very strong appreciation for religion and cultural traditions. I think it's one of the more beautiful aspects of life and just the human experience in general. But I'm personally not a firm believer of anything when it pertains to religion or spiritual journeys. So anything said in this episode is not to push some sort of narrative or belief onto anybody. I truly have no skin in the game. I just am very intrigued by a lot of different cultures and religions. There is information included that I find to be enlightening and pertinent to the case itself, and also just fascinating that I wanted to share with you, but I am not trying to get anyone to believe one thing or another or anything at all. Also,
okay.
On a side note, many of the gods mentioned in today's episodes, the deities, they have very complicated backgrounds on how they came to be. And obviously there's different interpretations and beliefs for each one. But I do want to mention that it does seem that at least a few of them are based off of Hindu gods. So this is, again, not me trying to erase that link or not give credit where credit is due. But I think to deep dive into the
take note of all that, chat. Take note.
Of each god would take a lot of care and expertise, and I'm mainly trying to include the parts that would be relevant to the actual case. So if you guys actually know more about each deity, please let me know in the comments. I would love to learn more from you guys, because the internet is a tricky place where everybody disagrees a lot. So with that being said, let's get into it.
Let's
April
go.
11th, 2005. It's a very normal Monday afternoon, and Mr. A, well, let's call him Mr. A, is at home watching TV, and he hears this knock at his door. Mr. A is one of the few neighbors that are still around. All the other neighbors had, interestingly, packed a little bag and moved out into hotels, leaving most of their stuff behind, still paying rent.
Dang.
It's very odd. Mr. A gets up and he walks to the door, looks through the tiny little peephole, and he sees his neighbor, a middle-aged man, Mr. Wu, just standing there looking very anxious. Mr. Wu, what's wrong? How can I help you? Mr. Wu leans in closer to the door. Call an ambulance. What? Mr. A fumbles with his locks, and by the time he opens the door, Mr. Wu is gone. He looks to the right, he looks to the left.
Whoa.
No Mr. Wu. He didn't even know middle-aged men could move that fast. That's wild. So he grabs his phone, puts on his jacket and his shoes, and he starts making his way over to Mr. Wu's house, which is at the top of a neighboring building. It's a 3-story building, and Mr. Wu is at the top.
Oh my god.
That's his
Actual
residence,
case
third
footage?
floor. So he's running up the stairs. He approaches the door. He doesn't...
Bro, if somebody made a video game out of this shit, oh my god, it would be the scariest thing known to man. Somebody please chill us art. Chill us art, please. Make this shit. Chill us art, please.
See Mr. Wu anywhere. He's nowhere to be seen. He presses on the handle of Mr. Wu's front door. The door creaks open and a fly comes flying out at him. So strange.
The hell?
He walks inside, and once he sees why an ambulance needs to be called, Mr. A runs back out of the house. He's dry heaving on the pavement and immediately calls the police. When the police arrive at the scene, they want to know what the problem is with the Wu family. I mean, arguably, they seem very incredibly normal, if not very mundane. The Wu parents have 4 children. The eldest daughter works in Taipei. The second daughter is a nurse. The third daughter goes to college. The son, the baby of the family, works at a local printing house. They're all adults. The kids are in their 20s at this point. It's a very normal family. Until the police talk to the neighbors. They are not normal. What do you mean by that? Neighbors have been reporting hearing very strange noises coming from inside the house all night long. This loud, sometimes it's like a banging noise. Sometimes you don't know what the source of the sound is. Sometimes you do know. And then sometimes it's just the most obnoxious gong going off all night long.
Dang.
Which is definitely frustrating for neighbors to deal with, the constant ruckus from the upstairs residents. But the neighbors aren't even annoyed. They're not even pissed off. In fact, they're just scared. Something about the noises is different, okay? Sometimes the family of 6 would sit there just splashing water on each other in silence.
Yo.
Splashing cold water all over each other, shivering. But they say they're hot. It's weird. Sometimes the neighbors would wake up in the middle of the night
That's a sign of possession.
to hearing someone screaming. Other times to chanting.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They look up at the house and, yeah, the police are like, that's not a normal place. They look at the signs posted on the windows into the house. There's a red 8 trigram symbol posted onto the window. The 8 trigrams are ancient symbols used in Taoist philosophy that represent the 8 principles of feng shui. Feng shui being harmony of
I did not know
individuals in
this.
their environment. At its core, feng shui is about creating balance and flow in your living area, right? So the 8 principles of having good feng shui balance, oversimplified, are heaven, earth, thunder, water, mountain, wind, fire, lake, which symbolizes joy and pleasure.
Wow, I didn't
So
know
they
all of
mean
this.
something. And when you put that symbol of the 8 trigrams on the window, it typically means that whoever lives in this home is seeking protection. They likely want to ward off negative energy and spirits, which is not too crazy of a thing to want. I feel like we all want that. They see that red 8 trigrams taped to the window, which itself is very normal, standard even, but it's everything else that makes the house feel so strange. On the balcony of the house, there are these black clothes that are sticking out of the windows like flags. It does not appear that the clothes are being hanging to dry. They're hanging on sticks, just floating in the air like flags, or like ghosts wearing black clothes and hanging out of the window, whichever one you want to envision. When you step foot into the house, you hear this crunching noise, and you look down, and the entire floor is covered like a beach. But instead of sand, it's covered with salt and rice grains.
Oh my God.
The whole floor. They can hear
That's
flies
insane.
buzzing around the house. They walk further in, and on the dining table, they find a whole table setting laid out. Plates, bowls. The bowls are filled with fulu, a talismanic paper soaked in water. And the plates are smeared with the main dish, the main
What the
course.
hell?
Feces.
Oh.
Poop. The flies are just circulating over the table, but that's not the only source of the smell. Feces has been thrown at the walls, covering the walls, sliding off the walls.
Oh, hell nah, chat. Oh, hell nah.
Not a single window was left open to let in some fresh air. Not only that, but the windows are covered in these yellowish papers taped to the windows, resulting in this severe lack of sunlight coming in, which means feces are hanging off the walls. The air is thick from the smell. Not a single hint of a breeze, just still air sitting, marinating in the poop stench. And no sunlight to try and balance things out. It's dark, dingy, grimy, and the smell of feces is overwhelming.
Jesus.
In one of the bedrooms, there's a 28-year-old woman lying motionless on the floor. Her limbs are stiff and she does not appear to be breathing. She has no pulse. They rush her to the hospital, but it is no luck. She has been dead for 2 days before the police found her
2
body.
days.
The hospital starts an autopsy on the woman, and her whole body looks incredibly pale. There's these massive wounds all over her body, giant bruises, fist-sized, up and down her body. But more puzzling than that are these tiny circular uniform burn marks, similar to cigarette butt burns, but not really. It's much smaller. It's about the size of like an ink dot. So if you were to take the tip of a Sharpie and just hold it onto your skin, it's kind of that size. What could even cause burns that size that are that consistent and uniform all over her body?
Ugh.
Believe it or not, there's another medical mystery that the doctors cannot even wrap their minds around. Shoved into the woman's nostrils, mouth, in her esophagus, and smeared all over her skin is a mixture of urine and feces. Furthermore, her entire stomach, the only thing in there is no food. Nothing but just semi-digested feces. The sheer volume of feces would indicate it was most likely human feces.
What is with the feces, bro?
So why? How? I mean, who did this to her?
Jesus Christ.
The police are able to confirm that the deceased woman is the eldest daughter of the Wu family, the residence that she was found in, which means the people most likely to have answers to what happened to her are her family members. But there is no trace of the rest of the Wu family. After Mr. Wu knocked on his neighbor's door, he vanished along with his wife and his 2 daughters and his 1 son.
Wow.
All 5 of them are gone. They hadn't taken any belongings, nothing. They just disappeared into thin air from this house. And there are just some places that you just do not go. In the movie Incantation, the place that you're not supposed to go is inside this tunnel in this remote village temple. But because the main character, Ronan, the mom, and her boyfriend at the time, they run a YouTube channel where they go ghost hunting, they weighed out the options and they thought, go into the tunnel to get great views or not go into the tunnel. They go into the tunnel. Ronan's
for the
boyfriend and his
views, the
cousin
cloud
inside,
chasing, the cloud chasing chat.
gonna get the good footage despite being warned by the locals multiple times never to step foot in here. We're just gonna go and get the footage, and that's how they get cursed, and Ronan's boyfriend and cousin ultimately die. Ronan ends up giving birth to a daughter that she didn't even know she was pregnant with at the time. She has to give up custody to her daughter for 6 years because of how mentally messed up she is from everything that has happened inside that tunnel. Because again, there are just some places that you just should not go. In the real life case of Incantation, the Wu family, they travel to the Five-Finger Mountain. It's called the Five-Finger Mountain because the peak of the mountain has 5 prominent peaks. It looks like the ridges of the fingers of a hand. It's a natural landmark, but some people don't think it's the safest. Not just in terms of physical safety, but spiritually.
Oh, we got to do an ad break, chat.
Mountains are
Ad break.
sacred places that are inhabited by supernatural entities, which means, yeah, you can go there to get guidance from the good supernatural entities, but when there are entities, one might believe there must be good and bad. You can't just cherry pick. According to many folklore, those who died unjustly or have unfinished business, they typically dwell in the mountains, waiting for their chance to get revenge. They may want to trap the living just due to how angry they are. And it's said that the path on the middle finger of the Five-Finger Mountain has the most negative energy. Many people experience and have reported feeling stuck. Physically, like they feel like they can move, but their legs won't move. They feel exhausted all of a sudden, drained, but not just, oh, I'm a hiker, I'm tired. It's weird. It's unexplainable.
It's the
they
vibe,
hear voices.
the energy.
They have all these unexplainable supernatural encounters on the 3rd finger. But like I said, when there is good, there is also bad. So it works in the opposite way. Meaning some people believe, no, if you go to the Five-Finger Mountain and you meditate, you're going to get amazing guidance to spiritual problems that you may be having. So the 3 Wu sisters are sent to the mountain for a month to meditate. This is the real life family. 3 of the sisters, so they have 3 daughters and 1 son. The 3 daughters are sent to the Five-Finger Mountain for an entire month to meditate at a local temple.
An entire month? Bro.
Oh, so this is before the sister was dead.
Yes. They need to use the power of meditation to drive out the demon inside of the eldest sister, the one that ends up dead. It's going to take at least a month. They're going to stay at the temple, and they are not to come back home until they are cleansed. I mean, it's not like the sisters really wanted to do this, but they don't really have a choice. Their lives were incredibly normal until it wasn't normal, and it all starts February 2005. It starts with the Wu family's eldest daughter. So she's the oldest, she's the one that passes away, and she's the only child that no longer fully lives with the entire family. So the youngest daughter, she's in college, she lives in the dorms, but she comes home every single break. The eldest daughter, she's actually moved out completely to Taipei. She's managing this convenience store with her boyfriend. So let's just call them Sister A, B, C, and Son. Okay. She gets a call from her mom.
Jesus.
What's going on? Hello? And
The story's tripping me out, Chad. The story's tripping me out. Not gonna lie.
the mom tells her, I'm very worried. I'm very concerned. I know that things have been happening over there with you. What do you mean? Sister A is confused. She's trying to figure out why her mom is freaking out, why she's saying, I know something's happened. Nothing has happened. I mean, absolutely nothing has happened. If something had happened, she would have called her right away. But her mom is just frantic. She's dead set that something weird is going to happen, or it's already happening and you just don't feel it. You just don't realize it. Sister A calms her mom down and she hangs up the phone thinking, okay, that was a little bit strange, but I think she's okay now. A few hours later, the door to the convenience store opens and it's her mom. The car ride to get from where her parents live on the
Dang.
south side of Taiwan to Taipei is a 4-hour-long drive.
Wow.
You just don't drop in and say hello. Her mom never does this. This is the type of visit that requires a lot of planning. You take the weekend off, you come to visit, you have an itinerary. So what the hell is mom doing here? Mrs. Wu tells her daughter, you need to come back to the family home immediately or else very bad things are going to happen to you.
Oh.
Listen, she must have a lot of faith in her mom because she grabs her things and just instantly leaves Taipei. She drops everything. She leaves work mid-shift to go with her mom. Interestingly enough, when she gets
I mean,
home,
if a member of my family said that and it was that urgent, I would go too. Not gonna lie, I would go too.
the energy in the family residence is quite happy. Everybody's happy. I mean, it's been a minute since all of them were gathered, since everybody's busy with work and school. Mr. Wu even cooked up this massive, delicious food table for the kids. And then during dinner, they start discussing what's been going on. And the Wu family, like I said, consists of 3 daughters and 1 son. The whole situation started when Sister C comes home from college for winter break. Because it's February of 2005. She's normally someone who sleeps well every single night. But ever since she got back to the family home for winter break, she's been having nightmares every single night. And it's always about the third prince. The third prince? Nija? Yes, the third prince, according to mythology, he was born after spending 3 years and 6 months in his mother's womb. His mom was so sick of him in her stomach that she would get
3 years and 6 months?
frustrated and, quote, pound her stomach in anger
Oh.
for such an extraordinary long pregnancy. And to make matters worse, when she finally gives birth to him, instead of a baby, a giant ball of flesh rolls out of her body. And her
Ugh.
husband, the third prince's dad, witnesses all of this and is convinced that his wife just gave birth to a demon that needs to be extinguished. He grabs his sword, attacks the ball of flesh. It opens up and out comes a fully formed boy, the third prince, that can talk immediately out of the
Dang.
womb. Now you may be thinking, that's a pretty tough dad and son relationship to mend after your dad is adamant that you're a demon the second that you come into this world. But despite that, the third prince has a strong dedication to his family. The prince and his dad are known to fight all the time, but ultimately it seems like the third prince has a strong sense of filial piety. I mean, he is, at the end of the day, one to protect his family. Which is why he is typically worshipped for protection of children and families and sometimes ensuring safe travels. The third prince deity is typically known as the patron god of children. In terms of worshipping deities, the third prince is not an intense one to worship, if that makes sense. It's just some deities are more fickle, some are more secretive than others, but the third prince, he sounds kind of chill. I mean, generally he prefers offerings, fruits, meats, nice. Duck meat he doesn't like because it's considered sacred to him, so you have to be very careful. He's also a teenage deity, so he really likes candies. And if you really want protection from the third prince, to just have a small statue of him is usually a good way to get it. He's a guardian deity, though. Keep this in mind. He's very protective.
Right. Okay. Now we know
He's a
this.
protection god.
Okay.
Now, Sister C comes home from winter break, and every single night she's back in the family home. She's plagued with these nightmares, and she can't sleep now because she's terrified of her own dreams. The third prince is somehow popping up.
This sounds like a recipe for disaster, Chad. I'm not gonna lie.
Which makes it feel like somebody needs protection around here. She has these migraines throughout the day that make her drop to the floor with how intense it is. She's never had these before. She's supposed to be resting before school starts, so what is happening? Her parents suggest her to go to the temple. That's going to help get her soul back. Now, to give you some context, and again, a quick disclaimer, not everybody in Taiwan believes one thing or the other. Like, same with America, everybody has their own beliefs. And then you have people who are very extreme in their beliefs, and then some people who are a little bit more casual with it. I will say the Wu family is as extreme as it gets. They're very extreme with their beliefs. You're not going to see the extremity of their beliefs right now, but you'll see it escalate. So keep that in mind. They're like, you need to go to the temple and get your soul back.
Dang.
Some people believe that the soul can leave the body because of many different circumstances. We've kind of talked about this before with the microwave case. remember?
Microwave.
Yes.
Yes, the soul leaves the body when there is some sort of trauma or shock, near-death experience, intense fear or pain, spiritual attack, sleep or dreaming. Sometimes souls will wander out of your body during sleep, and then when you wake up, your soul can't get it, and then your soul is lost. They say that you can
Whoa.
typically
Okay,
tell-
I've never heard of that. That is insane. Can you imagine how scary that must be? Your soul can't get back to your body because you woke up before it came back. Oh my god.
when someone's soul has left their body, they suddenly have a very hard time recalling specific events. They might have memory loss, or they suddenly have weakened immune systems, and they just feel this emotional numbness. They look like they're zoning out all the time. It looks like they're missing a part of themselves because their soul is missing. That is what the Wu parents believe is happening to Sister C. They encourage her, go to the local temple. They can perform this soul calling ritual to bring your soul back home, back into your body. You gotta go. Sister C goes to the temple to get her soul back, which it does seem to work, but she ends up getting a lot more than what she asks for.
Oh.
She states to her family that suddenly, out of nowhere, the third prince showed up again. And this time he had a divine message for her. He tells her that Sister A, the eldest sibling, has to come home immediately or else her life is in grave danger. She's the one working alone
Jesus. Okay, that gave me goosebumps. Nah, bro.
in Taipei.
That's crazy.
The family take this information incredibly seriously. If the third prince is saying that, that means he would only be saying that to protect the children of the family. He's a guardian deity after all, which means something might happen to the children. Even if the third prince didn't say anything to Sister C in the dream, the third prince even showing up in one's visions or dreams or sights typically symbolizes that the dreamer or someone close to the dreamer is in need of protection. Because the third prince, like I said, is almost synonymous with protection. This means something. The next day, after the third prince shows up in Sister C's dreams, the mom goes all the way to Taipei and gets her eldest daughter, brings her back home.
Dang. Dang, Chad.
On my desk, I have this.
Oh, man. An ad? Really? Okay, let's go. Jump ahead. Nah, not Grammarly. Come on, man.
.com/podcast.
Dang.
That night, Sister A, she's being told all of this over dinner. She thinks it's strange, but she tries not to think too much into it. She goes to rest, and she comes all the way from Taipei, lays down in bed. She doesn't feel like the energy is that strange. I mean, she's home. She's so familiar with this place. This is where she grew up with everybody that she trusts more than anything. And she drifts into sleep. And hours later, she's awake, drenched in sweat, gasping for air. Her mom slams open the door. She's been screaming all night. She runs in. What's wrong? What's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. Sister A tells her mom that everything little sister said is coming true. There's this nightmare that she just had where she was essayed by a strange man and then ended up killing him, and there was so much blood and everything bad is happening. Her mom drags her out of bed and both of them kneel at the family's at-home altar to start praying. But the next night, it happens again. Another nightmare. Now the eldest sister can't even go to sleep without feeling this intense fear. She won't even sleep during the night. She dozes off here.
Can you imagine being so afraid you don't even sleep, chat? Like, that has to be one of the... Oh, man. You can't even rest. Like, the terror. That's pure terror, chat.
There during the day, but that's about it.
Jesus
like, as naps.
Christ.
She hasn't gotten a good night's rest since she got home. Whenever there's a loud noise, she starts freaking out. If someone is talking in a pitch higher than an inside standard voice, she freaks out. Eventually, the eldest daughter, likely out of serious sleep deprivation and feeling mental torment, she starts slapping herself. She starts like slapping her own legs, slapping her arms, and the Wus are really alarmed by this. They drag her to the temple where the youngest had gotten her soul back. And the parents tell the ones that run the temple, they think they know why this is happening right now. We understand why. Okay, so the family thinks the reasoning of all of this is because they moved the third prince statue in their house. So way before he showed up in Sister C's dreams, the third prince had his own altar at the Wu family house. They worshiped the third prince. But a while back, they had gone to a different temple, and with some guidance, one of the mediums there told the Wu family that their family situation seems unclean. He was very ominous about it. He didn't give them much more information. So the
Dang.
Wu parents, being firm believers, they start getting paranoid. They ask him to come to their house to
I think the
exorcise
paranoia is what got them, man, chat.
evil spirits that's making the residents unclean. And while they're exorcising the place, they move the statue. They move the altar of the third prince to a new location inside the house. But maybe they shouldn't have done that. Maybe that messed with the protection of the house somehow and made it so that another entity could enter, like a non-protective entity could enter their home. At the temple, the eldest sister was able to be cleansed by the spiritual mediums. And when she comes back home, things are normal again. In fact, after a few days, she's had 0 nightmares, 0 like slapping herself on the legs. She's like, maybe I should go back home to Taipei. I mean, we avoided this looming tragedy. Likely it was nothing. We just needed to move the statue back.
Dang,
I should just go home and resume life as normal. That's the best case scenario, yes? As the eldest daughter is spending the last few days with her family, she gets this phone call. It's like a rather brief phone call. Nobody can really even make out who she's talking to or what she's saying. But by the time she hangs up the phone, she is no longer their daughter. She is no longer Sister A.
Oh.
She turns around
What?
and states to the entire Wu family that she is the goddess of mercy.
Oh.
Wait, she hung up the phone? And
Yeah.
she says she's a goddess?
Now, to give you some context, this is good and bad news depending on your own beliefs. If you do not believe in deities being able to...
What does this
possess
mean,
humans,
chat?
This is very bad news. If you do believe it, like the Wu family does, then this might be the best deity to be possessed by. The goddess of mercy is often described as the kindest of all deities. She is the mother of compassion and mercy. She's believed to have unconditional love and compassion for all beings, even humans. She's not fickle, where, fickle deities might want more in return or set you up in some aspects. She's not like that. She's known to work tirelessly to save all beings from suffering. So if the goddess of mercy has taken their daughter's body, that means there is a divine message there for them. The Wu parents think, wait, maybe all of this going on is because our daughter is a spiritual medium. And this is the way we find out. A vessel is the spiritual medium between the deities and the humans, the so-called translators between the gods and the mortals. So when mortals, like humans, have questions, they have nowhere to seek answers. They may approach a spiritual medium and request that they ask the deities for the answer. Being a spiritual medium is typically, from my understanding, a job that calls you. You don't.
This
call
is
the job.
crazy,
The
chat.
job chooses you. People will
This is
naturally
insane.
find themselves being able to connect with spirits, and with further guidance or
The
training
story
of
gets
sorts,
crazier and crazier, chat. Oh my god. Do you guys know, do you guys have much knowledge on deities and stuff? I do not have that much knowledge.
it can be full-fledged spiritual mediums. It's not an easy job. One medium
I'm Team
describes it
Jesus,
as,
you know what I mean?
the first time your body
I'm
feels
Team
very
Jesus
warm,
personally.
really hot. The energy is starting to come to your body, starting to surround you, so you feel very, very warm. Within the first 5-10 minutes, the energy starts slowly coming, and within that time, you'll know the energy belongs to which deity and what they are here for and what purpose. During the possession, you won't know what's happening until you wake up. Then you'll feel very tired afterwards. It's a lifetime commitment being a medium. It's very exhausting. Which, side note, there's actually a lot of harm when it comes to being a spiritual medium. One of the key components is, for I'm sure many reasons, spiritual mediums will feel the need to harm themselves. So while they're being the vessel for the deity, a lot of the times they'll write these talismanic papers. So these charms on a piece of paper that you take for protection. And they will use the blood from their tongue. So a lot of the times they'll cut their tongue and use the blood to write. But they don't feel pain when they're in this state, they say. They'll even pin flags to their skin. So you know those wooden skewers that you grill things on? I don't know if it's those that are used precisely, but that's about how thick they are. Some of the spiritual mediums will pin flags onto their back. They will pinch a piece of their lower back skin, stab the skewer into their flesh, and have it standing upright so that the flag is near their necks. And they'll pin 5 of them, so they have 5 flags pinned into their backs.
See, I've seen that visual, but I didn't know they stab into themselves.
I didn't know it's
and
an
then
actual
they will
thing,
stab
chat.
skewers through their mouth.
Oh,
Metal bars through
do
their
not show the
mouth.
picture, bro.
It's said that that's
Thank
kind
you.
of proving to the mortals that they are a vessel, because it's very difficult to do that.
We don't need
It's
some
said
of
that
these pictures are
spiritual mediums don't feel
unnecessary,
any
gang.
pain when they're possessed by gods or spirits, and for that same reason, they tend to heal quickly and without infection. So it's a lot. Some spiritual mediums will stab their stomachs with sewing needles when they're in
Whoa.
a trance. They'll even pierce
Oh
a
my
full metal
God,
needle
why?
through one cheek to the other, like I said. I mean, some of them have whips with needles,
Oh.
and in their trances, they will begin whipping themselves. One spiritual medium says, I believe it's a way the
Jesus.
deities protect the medium by helping them not feel pain during the rituals. It's also a way that the deities show their powers to us humans. The Wu family thought for a moment, maybe this is what's happening to Sister A, their eldest. Because she's banging her head up against the
This is
walls, the
insane,
tables.
chat.
She's using her nails to dig into her face, scratching her skin
Whoa.
off. Her whole body looks like it's being covered in bruises now. It's like she has this crazy superhuman strength, and in order to even get her to stop, they have to tie her down with ropes. Just running a rope around her until she can't even move an inch.
Wait, so she's saying that she has been possessed
By the goddess of mercy.
and she is keep harming herself.
Yes. The parents look at each other because at first they thought maybe our daughter is a spiritual medium, but this is not the goddess of mercy inside their little girl.
Nah,
This feels
bro.
like something else. This feels like a demon.
Yep.
Sister A's
1000%.
eyes look different. I mean, they say that she starts laughing, but having these eerie bursts of laughter that sound very maniacal, and she starts dancing around her siblings, almost like she's
Oh.
taunting them. I am the goddess of mercy, here to quell the chaos and eliminate adversity for you. That night, the 6 of them are back on their knees in front of their ancestors.
Ah, nah, this shit is making me scared, chat. Low key, this shit is making me scared, for real.
Ancestral tablets, their altars, praying. Another sleepless night, trying to figure out what is going on. This is when they decide this is no ordinary
man,
possession, which means they cannot have an ordinary solution. They must go to the Five-Finger Mountain and get rid of the evil spirits for a singular month. So while the 3 sisters are gone, the Wu parents and the youngest son are left at home alone. They decide we need to cleanse this place before the sisters come back, because if they come back and the demons are still in this house, what is the point of them being gone for a month? According to Masters of Spirits, they say someone's front door can tell you a lot about what's going on inside that home. The front door is a very important boundary between the outside world and the safety of the home. It's the critical line between the 2 realms, the outside world and the inner sanctuary. It's a physical entrance, but it also has an energy border, if you will. Now, this is not an attempt to be dramatic about a literal front door. Historically, there are households that would perform sacrificial rituals to door spirits. That's what they're
Gang.
called, to make sure that their doors are properly managed and well protected. There's door deities that are supposed to help guard against evil influences, but they can't be so stubborn and not letting anything into your front door, because then you're not going to get wealth and good fortune either. So it's a very tricky balance. You don't want to piss off the door deities.
Yeah, in China you will see like they put almost like a painting stick one on each door, so there are 2 of them. They help you
Yes.
guard the
Yes. So people will do rituals for them. And like rituals, I'm not talking weird rituals. Like they'll just offer fruits and stuff. Now,
Oh.
right upon entering the Wu family house, the master that they've invited to cleanse the entire residence sees a fox spirit standing guard at the door. That's what he says. Now, seeing any sort of spirit at anybody's front door is a very worrisome sign, let alone
Ooh.
a fox. He said a fox spirit typically is a symbol of chaos. Foxes are sly. They're mischievous little creatures. They like to get into all the little naughty things. There are some that believe foxes can predict disasters. They can tell when there's impending doom coming. So to see one at the front door, that's not a good look. But that's not
Dang.
even the main problem with foxes. Foxes are known to feed off of human vitality. In Taiwanese folklore, there's a tale of a village where young men kept falling mysteriously ill. Nobody knew what the problem was. They all ate different things. They're all drinking water from different streams. There's no reason for all of them to be sick. Is it the air? And the women were surprisingly fine. It was later discovered that a
Whoa.
family of female fox spirits had taken residence nearby, and the female foxes were seducing and draining the men's vitality. Foxes may be
Dang.
here to cause chaos or to symbolize impending doom.
There's so much like lore and like, dang.
Or to slowly suck the life out of the residents of the house. Not always, but that's how the master interprets this fox. Now, if it was just the fox standing at the front door, maybe the family would have been fine. But the master tells them, this is a house full of fierce demons. If you live here for too
Whoa.
long, you will definitely be eaten up. You will be possessed. There's no way around it. As he's told to go further into the house, he keeps shaking his head no and starts walking out of the house. The master just tries to leave. Like, he U-turns after a few steps into the Wu residence, and Mrs. Wu, the mom, is not having it. She paid a pretty penny for this man to come into her home. He's gonna tell her what's wrong, and he's gonna fix it. Feng Shui, at its core, like I said, is making sure your home feels harmonious. It really depends on how deeply someone wants to take it. Some just take it purely as usage and design purposes. Yes, using a too large coffee table with sharp corners that you bang your leg against could be bad feng shui, but it's also just like a really bad design element. Or others take it a bit more seriously. Certain plants, certain placement of furniture beyond design elements either bring positive or
Foxes in Korean mythos, I think, are mischievous spirits that taunt humans pretending to be gods, but if they do enough good deeds, they can become mountain spirits and turn to true gods. Ooh, okay, I didn't know that. Thank you, Chlorine. I didn't know that. This video is really creeping me out. That's why I've been like mainly quiet. This shit is really like creeping me out. I understand, I see the culture, but like it's twisting and turning in a way that is really creepy. You know what I mean? It's like taking things that are known to be like good omens or like protection, and then it's like really twisting and turning on its head, you know?
or negative energy into the home. You
Oh,
don't
Jesus
want
Christ.
too much pieces of furniture with sharp
My
corners,
sister
sharp
just yelled.
edges, because it's a
And
different
I
type
got
of
scared.
energy.
My sister just yelled and I got scared, bro. Wait, even at the actual creepy part of the story with Dodo, the granddaughter. Oh, God.
You're welcoming in. For example, some common
I'm
feng shui
scared,
tips:
man. I'm
don't
scared.
keep broken items around in your
Gang,
home.
hold my hand, gang. I'm scared, gang. Hold my hand, gang. Please, bro. I'm scared, bro.
Either
Oh, Jesus. Okay, wait. Hold on, Chad. Hold on. God damn, my auntie knocked at the door. And I was like, what the hell? But I got some food. Yippee! Got some food. Okay.
fix it or get rid of it. Broken items carry broken, disrupted, chaotic energy. Don't keep the toilet lid open when you're not using it. Open toilets are thought to drain wealth and positive energy. Avoid mirrors directly facing the bed. It's said that not only does it disturb sleep, it potentially invites a third party into your marriage.
Oh.
Or place your desk in a position where it faces the office door, but it's not directly in line with it. If you're directly in line with it, any and all energy coming into the office, you will impact your work with. But
Uh-oh. My desk is my desk is in line with the door.
you want to be able to see the door without being directly in line with the door, because you want to see the opportunities that are coming your way. You need a clear line of sight. But you could take it even a step further. And the belief is that feng shui can impact the kind of spirits that come into your home. The house they live in is positioned in a way where the sun does not come in. It's very dark, it's lightless. It has an irregular shape, which gives it extremely poor feng shui right off the bat. It's a house that basically invites the ghosts in.
Oh.
But worse than that, there is a road that goes up to the front of their home. They are at what's called a T-junction. They sit
Oh,
on a road.
no. Even I know about the T-junction. As a bad juju. The house at the T-junction? No. Even I know about that. Nah, you can't buy a house at the T-junction, man.
But there's also another road pointing directly towards them. A home that sits on a T-junction, the master states, is very, very bad, because the energy is all directed to the house, and the rushing energy can be very harmful. It can bring in quite unstable spirits into the home and create a poison arrow, if you will, where the fast-moving energy is almost attacking the home non-stop. It's relentless. The master tells the family, over time, living in a house with bad feng shui will drain your spirit. And once you're in this vulnerable, weakened state, you can easily be possessed by bad spirits. Every day that the demons have been growing, it's even more dangerous to get rid of them. You have to be very, very proactive. Do you understand? Now, side note, anybody living in a house in a T-junction, don't freak out. I think this has as much power over you as you believe it does. I would say most people that I know believe in feng shui in a rather casual, like they don't really believe spirits will come, but just the flow.
Yeah.
The flow of your furniture. They honestly treat it more like a design suggestion. So
I agree in terms of flow. Like, I feel like you gotta have good flow anyways. You know, why not? Make your life easier.
don't freak out. Nothing's going to happen to you. But like I said, this is just an extreme case with people who have very strong extreme beliefs. But conveniently, the master can fix it. For a price. He holds a multi-day exorcism. He states, now the house is cleansed. There will still be upkeep maintenance, of course. But overall, it's good now. The Woos thought, oh, well, now that you say that, I do feel more relaxed. Even our bodies, I feel like the tension is loosened that we've been holding on to. But just to make sure that the house is ready for the sisters to come home, the Wu family, they purchased a lot of the talismanic papers, the charms from the master, as well as joss sticks. Joss sticks are basically incense sticks and are often burned before a shrine. It's believed that if you have a perfumed joss stick to a certain deity, they will be pleased and give you their blessings. And even the number of joss sticks offered is meaningful. 1 stick is for worshipping the deceased. 2 for guardian spirits or for food offerings.
I didn't know there
3
was
is the
like
most common.
different
It
joss
represents
sticks. I did not even know that. Wow.
the core elements. 5 is for worshipping the deities and the elements. 7 sticks is for the sun deity. And the 9 sticks is the most auspicious, they say. It's used for worshipping Buddha's graces or guardian angels. So you burn them at the altar or near the front doors or the windows. And technically, you're supposed to use the joss sticks in a well-ventilated area. But the family decide, why don't we plug up every possible ventilation outlet and burn the joss sticks? Because that would be the ultimate, deepest cleansing. That would be the most condensed scent. And I think the deities would be the happiest. They even hung fabrics outside their house. They're described as exorcism cloths, meaning that they've been blessed and prayed upon, and it's supposed to give the person in need, as well as the property, a spiritual cleansing. It's thought that even touching the cloth can help drive the evil spirits out of you. They fill the entire apartment with the talismanic paper, the fulu, if you will, and they fill it with the joss sticks. They keep burning them. They hang the black clothes outside the window. They have the 8 trigrams posted on their window by their front door.
This is when the 3 sisters are at the mountain.
Yes.
So the father and the parents and the son is doing this at home.
Yes. To get them ready to come back. Because there's no point of them being in the mountain if they're just going to get tainted in the house all over again. And it works. A month later, the Wu sisters come back home from the 5-Finger Mountain. And the family of 6 are reunited. Everyone seems to have their lives restored. The disaster is over. Until one night, all 3 sisters lose their minds and they start chanting incantations, saying they want to return home. This is not home. They need to go to their real home. And this is how everything spirals out of control until
Christ.
1 ends up dead and 5 end up missing. The movie Incantation is a found footage horror film that people genuinely thought was cursed. Even if you watch this horror movie, you will be cursed. That was the consensus.
Whoa.
One online forum post reads, is Incantation movie actually safe for me to watch? Can the movie invite actual demonic influence into my home?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Viewers have reported feeling cursed after watching the movie. They say, I just watched Incantation last night. I said the chant like 20 times. Power went out.
Did you guys watch the movie? Lauren?
A couple minutes later, I've never been so scared in my whole adult life. Another comment reads, just watch Incantation. I'm so freaking cursed now. I think this movie just literally cursed me. The movie Incantation explores the idea
of Christ. Nah, man. Nah.
of a shared curse.
Nah, Chad,
meaning
nah.
just by watching the movie, by seeing the footage and repeating the incantation
Nah.
in the movie, you now share the curse. The movie tricks you into staring at this symbol. The main character tells the audience, because it's found footage, it's like she's vlogging. She tells the audience that the symbol is for blessings. She asks the audience to help save her daughter from the curse by chanting the incantation together. And she thanks everyone by wishing her daughter blessings so that she can be cured. But the truth of the movie is, the symbol, the incantation, all of it is a curse. The mother has asked the audience to repeat these things because she knows they are a curse so that they can take the burden of the curse away from her daughter.
Nah,
they can
gang.
share the curse with the audience.
Wow.
In the real life case, there is also a shared curse. It is that of shared delusion, collective psychosis of the entire family.
Collective psychosis
So
is
after
crazy.
getting back from the mountain, the three sisters start losing their minds. The family's gathered in the living room. The parents and the son are trying to figure out what to do, how to help the sisters, and also why are all three of them losing their minds? Why are they all possessed all of a sudden? They're burning more joss sticks, chanting more incantations to get rid of the spirits inside their family members. And it's in the middle of all of this that the dad turns to the rest of the family and he announces, I am the Jade Emperor.
Oh.
The Jade Emperor is a celestial ruler of heaven. He has supreme sovereignty over all the deities,
What is
immortals,
going
and
on,
humans.
chat?
He's the one, if you remember from our Baby Garden episode, the Chinese zodiac animals were all in a race. He's the one that organized the race. He represents the ultimate authority over the universe. He's a deity, and he's known to be quite compassionate and fair and merciful. And now Mr. Wu claims he is the Jade Emperor, which makes Mrs. Wu stand up. I mean, her husband just lost his mind, and so did her 3 daughters, and so has she.
Oh.
She states, I am Queen Mother of the West, one of the most ancient and powerful goddesses, the Jade Emperor's wife. She has complete control over creation, destruction, death. Most of her days, she sits there in her peaches of immortality. They have a little garden in their palace. She alone can determine the lifespan of every living being.
Dang.
Wow.
Which means the dad is now the Jade Emperor. The mom is the Queen Mother of the West, the Emperor's wife. The eldest daughter is still the Goddess of Mercy. The second daughter, Sister B, claims she's the 7th fairy, the youngest daughter of the Jade Emperor and his wife.
What the hell?
Wow.
Then we have the third sister, the one
This is getting crazy, chat. This is getting crazy. This is actually getting crazy for real.
that came home from college and started having the
Oh my
nightmares.
God.
She claims she is now the third prince, the protector of children, the guardian prince. Leaving just the youngest Wu family son, he looks up at his family members standing there, and he says, everyone stop. I am the drunken monk.
Oh no.
What?
This is another character from mythology, a monk that was
What?
unconventional in the fact that he was always drunk, but his heart was always in the right place.
Oh, I know. Yes. Okay. Ji Gong is the name.
So they're all good deities from what I can tell.
Yeah.
The whole family at this point believe that
Brother.
they're all possessed. But what are the odds that all 6 of them are possessed by good deities? Slim to none, that's what they think. They think there must be at least one person in this family that has been possessed by a devil, and that is why everybody else is possessed by a good deity to get rid of that demon. And it's up to them to figure out
Jesus
the
Christ,
fake
chat.
one. When the police are
No.
called to the Wu residence, the family are not found until 3 days later. So they find the eldest sister
Nah,
A's
she's
body,
scary, man.
and then the family is found 3 days later in a temple about an hour away from their home. The 5 remaining Wu family members are covered in bruises, as well as the same scars that Sister A had, those circular burn marks. The police have...
Gang, how
similar
long do we have
questions.
left? Goddamn, chat. Goddamn.
Sister A is dead. The whole house is smeared in poop. The rest of the family have similar
Ooh.
burns to Sister A. What happened in the past 2 months in that house?
What
At
happened?
this point, the dad refuses to talk to the police. He states he will be haunted by demons by disclosing secrets. He's not taking that risk ever again. The police try to talk to the mom. The mom
What?
is sitting curled up in the interrogation room, and the interrogator is trying to ask her where the family has been for the past few days. We had to leave to avoid disaster. Avoid disaster? What disaster? The mother looks up and starts shouting. She seems paranoid. She keeps looking around. If you don't leave, you might be possessed. When
Ew.
confronted with her daughter's death, the mother just kept repeating, it's not my daughter who died, but the demon who is attached to her.
Oh.
The police are getting frustrated, so they try to think of something different. They bring in the Emperor's ruler, which is this square wooden stick. It has sacred titles of deities and scriptures carved into the wooden stick. It's supposed to cleanse evil spirits and block them from entering. Do they believe in the Emperor's ruler? No, the police do not, but it's only when they bring this in that everyone starts opening up and starts sharing what happened in the past 2 months.
Oh my god.
What?
The past 2 months has been an utter living hell in the Wu residence. Each one of them becomes possessed by a deity. They all come to the same conclusion that there's just no way that every single one of them is possessed by a good deity. So there must be a demon amongst the group. Because why else would they
Gang.
be suddenly possessed by powerful gods. They just need to figure out who is the demon. So first they start by sprinkling the floors of the entire apartment with rice grains and salt because demons don't like that. They believe the salt will purify the evil spirits and neutralize their bad intentions. They start setting up ceremonial arrangements where they place ritual objects, talismans, offering in a specific layout to expel the evil spirits. And each time they pick a new victim. They just go in circles being like, that one is the one with the demon. Neighbors said they would see this through the windows and they would hear it. They would force one of the family members to kneel down and they would just use their hands like automatic slappers, just slapping their face left and right to beat the demon out of them.
Dang.
They do that to everyone,
Yes.
including parents.
Yes. And it's
That's
not
crazy.
working. So they start taking rice, turning it into sticky rice, mixing it with salt, and smearing it all over each other to get rid of the spirits. Still nothing. Because the indicator is the demon is gone, the rest of the possessions will be gone. But if they're still possessed by these deities, that means the demon is still here in this very living room.
Oh my god.
They start smearing each other with sticky rice, salt, but nothing. And that's when they start beating each other. They take turns. Every day it's someone else with a broomstick, with mops, walking sticks.
Wow.
They're using the joss sticks to burn holes into each other. Like you would burn cigarette marks, but with the joss sticks.
Oh god.
It's said that deities prefer cleanliness, even demons. I guess the logic the family comes up with is that if the spirits, all spirits, even the bad ones, hate dirtiness, that means they like cleanliness. Then if you make yourself so dirty, why would a spirit want to be in you or be around you? Why would they possess you if they hate dirtiness that much? That's how they start smearing human excrement all over the walls,
God.
as well as on the dinner plates. They splash each other with urine and feces, and when that still does not work, they resort to cleansing the spirits from within.
Oh no.
Which I guess in that moment, in their minds,
Oh,
it makes
Jesus.
sense to a degree that they would need to consume the feces and urine.
Oh no. We see the thought
They start-
process now, chat. Oh my god.
Fasting, they don't eat any other food, and this is actually showcased in the movie as well, Incantation. They start starving and only feeding themselves feces. The entire family show the authorities all their scars to show the eldest daughter was not the only one injured in this mass exorcism they were trying to hold. But still, it doesn't matter. Clearly, her injuries were the worst that caused her to die. To which the mother has a theory. She explains to the detectives that the demon that possessed her daughter was successfully exorcised. Because of the exorcism, because she was the first to get possessed and had been possessed for so long, her real soul could not return to her body. which led to her
What?
death. After 2 months of torture,
What?
Sister A, the eldest, had passed. And now talking about it, the family seemed relieved. They finally got the demon that was plaguing the family. I mean, even if it results in the loss of their own daughter, they seem relieved.
Jesus,
The
chat.
police obviously bring in a psychiatrist to evaluate the family one by one. The psychiatrist states that none of them have any sort of mental condition that would set off psychosis. None of them are schizophrenic with hallucinations. Individually, they all seem like completely normal people. Completely normal people is how the psychiatrist phrases it, not me, okay? But it's when they're together for those past few months, what they all partake in, it seems like a shared delusion, collective psychosis. That's the only thing that the psychiatrist could come up with. It is the psychiatrist's belief that they genuinely believe that there was a demon inside of one of them. That is a belief that they
Dang.
shared. Legally speaking, the burns and beating scars were not fatal enough to cause the eldest daughter's death. Her cause of death was multiple organ failure, which was her willingly eating feces paired with her willingly starving herself, which led to her organs shutting down. The
Dang.
prosecutors state that it does not appear that she was forced, trapped, or bound to any of those things. She was beat, but they don't believe that she had no way out. It seems like she was as deep in the delusion as everybody else. The family members
Mass
were initially
psychosis.
charged and found not guilty of murder. Their exorcism did not directly result in her death. They were charged with then the crime of abandoning a corpse after death, but it does not appear that any of them served any jail time.
Basically, they do believe this is the actual event. Like, they all kind of
Yeah.
felt like they were possessed, and that
Wow.
was the truth.
And a lot of people who know the family for, I mean, as long as they've been around, they said that they are especially superstitious. They are probably as extreme as it gets. So it's not out of nowhere it happened. It seems like it's ingrained in them. They had this very long-term belief in these types of things.
Yeah.
Dang, chat.
And just like that,
Mass
after this, the
psychosis.
family goes back to living normally. no possessions, which has sparked a lot of people to come up with their own theories because how can they just suddenly go back to normal?
Yeah.
Some netizens believe that they were actually possessed by spirits, and now that the demon spirit is gone, the family has naturally returned back to normal. Some neighbors believe this to be true because after the eldest daughter's death, all of them start donating money to the family to exorcise the spirits of the eldest daughter from the house, once and for all.
Ooh.
They're like, because your daughter died in here, you need to exorcise the house all over again. So some of these people have very firm beliefs that this is genuinely what happened. Some argued one of the biggest problems here is that the family enshrined many different statues of gods at the same time, which means the gods had to compete for the incense they believe in, which then caused them to go after family members to try and gain more power in the home. One netizen comments, they were all possessed by evil spirits and demons,
Ooh.
and that's why this happened.
We had a bot. We had a bot.
Then you have most people who believe they were in a shared psychosis, a shared delusion. I would say that, yeah, the family was entranced, just not by demons. One source states that the local psychiatrist actually believes the family to have been a state of mass hysteria. They state a lot of people might find it hard to believe considering how few of
Mass
the family
hysteria
members
is
were in the
crazy,
medical
chat.
field. So 2 of them were studying to be nurses. One of them was already a nurse, the daughters. But the family has always been very superstitious. So that coupled with sleep deprivation, lack of food and water, the repetition of praying at the altars, one netizen comment reads,
Hold on, chat. Okay, chat. Okay. Let's finish this.
the whole family is sick.
Let's finish
Sometimes
this,
being
chat.
too superstitious is also a disease. Another one comments, I once heard a Taoist priest say, if you feel something strange about your body, please see a doctor first. If you still don't feel well, then you come to us for treatment. So they're saying, I mean, this is a very real belief and a lot of people honor it, but
pretty
this
standard.
is just so extreme. Another netizen writes, there is nothing wrong with the faith itself. It can be a spiritual substance, but excessive superstition is a huge mistake. One netizen agrees, writing, faith should lead people to the right path and bring peace of mind, rather than causing trouble to others or even harming themselves or others.
Yeah.
Another group of people believe, yes, they were in a state of mass hysteria, but it was brought on by a bad master. They likely went to a public temple in the mountain in the woods, the Five Finger Mountain, where they think that maybe they had run into someone who does not practice these types of things well.
Ooh.
Someone who perhaps wants a lot of money and sees this as an opportunity, a family who is so distraught by even just a few nightmares, he starts implanting all these crazy ideas into the sisters' minds before they leave.
Dang.
Likely the master never thought it would spiral into something like this, but it did. Then you have another group of people that think, well, aside from superstitions, let's put aside mass hysteria, some people are even more cynical of people, and they think that the family from day one wanted to kill the eldest daughter.
Oh.
Or at least the parents did. They tricked the
Whoa.
other children into believing the superstition.
That's
so that they could get the job done.
crazy.
There's really no proof behind this at all. I mean, there's no proof behind any of these theories or anything at all in this case, but they think, what if it's an expertly planned murder by the family to
Dang,
get rid of
Chad.
the eldest daughter for whatever reason? Other netizens point out how it's convenient and interesting that the family comes back to their senses after the eldest daughter's death and they're never possessed again. I would say that's a little tricky, but that's a belief that is floating out there. And lastly, a good chunk of people believe, yeah, it could also just be mold poisoning. They're saying that the apartment that they lived in was a little bit older, it was a little bit more run down, and Taiwan being near water, things get moldy. It's a very tropical climate.
Yeah, it's very humid during summer.
So people are saying it could have been some sort of toxic substance in the house. Has anybody looked into that? And they're not getting ventilation because they're closing up all the windows. They're getting sleep deprived. It could definitely be mold poisoning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of discourse
There's
about
that.
all of that, but that's the case. That's it. They just went on to live the rest of their lives. Nobody has really heard from them since.
Wow.
To the point where people are like, this feels like an urban legend.
So the movie was inspired by this case,
Yes.
or?
Inspired by the case.
This is a crazy case, chat.
Yeah, and
This
there's
is
a lot
an
of discourse
insane
about the
case.
movie as well, Incantation. I think it's very interesting. So some netizens have stated the message of the film is brilliant because they state it's a replication of religion and spiritual beliefs in a movie form. So if you believe in a spiritual belief or a religion in real life, right, it becomes more real to you. So same with the movie. They're saying if you say these incantations and you are a little bit more superstitious, then you're going to believe you are cursed.
Yeah.
So it really is fascinating. That's what people say. I don't know, okay? They state that the fact that everyone
That's
is in
kinda
the theater
crazy.
chanting this terrifying curse, you could go one or the other way with it. You could go home thinking you've been cursed, or you could realize, wow, it no longer holds power. Because when all of us are chanting it, nothing happened. So there's also this discourse of a lot of these things feel very individual based. Like nobody wants to be individually cursed.
That is true.
But when they're doing it in a group, it feels like a crazy, fun human experience activity. I don't know.
See, even like the this whole case, I just feel like as someone who's not very spiritual, it feels like, let's say the family, everything they said was true. It just feels like they're very open to suggestions. So it started with a dream, and then they believed it, and they
That
acted
is
on
very
it.
true. He makes a good
And
point.
then they feel like the eldest daughter feel like, oh, she is possessed, and then she start having dreams, and then they took action, and then they feel like things are better. But then like something else happened, so everything's like suggestion, and then
Yes.
they all lost their mind.
Jesus,
and
chat.
just another quick disclaimer, religion and like spiritual practices are different. I keep grouping religion into it because a lot of people in Taiwan consider it a religion. Some people consider it more so like a folk religion that they practice. Some consider it like a full-blown religion, so that's why. But I do think it's very interesting because I'm not a very spiritual person, but I am incredibly superstitious. And I think I forced myself not to go down that path because what you were saying once you know something, you start spiraling. So I feel like if I were to talk to someone who could spiritually tell me my future or how I behave, it would just be living in my head.
You're more
Suggestible.
You're more suggestible. Like
So suggestible.
Yeah, you will start see things and feel things and
Yes.
think about these things like constantly in your head.
Because I know a lot of people
I'm
might
like
look
that
at the
too.
family and
I'm
think,
like that too, chat.
wow, this is so dumb, but I can't even do that because I think I'm a little bit more suggestible than most people. So I feel like if I were really in that situation and I grew up in that environment with my family believing in all
For
of this
real.
so strongly, especially
For
parents
real.
believing it, those are your guidance figures. So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the director of the movie once stated, when I heard the story of the real case in the news, I realized that I didn't dare to know too much about what happened, and I was surprised at how much the topic scared me. Then I realized that the fears surrounding religious beliefs and taboos are very obscure. It's something we can't shake off. We don't need to convince people that it's real. Rather, we tell them it's fake, but even then it's still scary. Why are we so scared of things we know are fake? So he's not saying the religion is fake, but the movie itself is fake. He's saying all the incantations, the symbols, they made up.
Yeah.
Dang,
Someone just, like, whipped it
chat.
out, but people are so scared, even though they're told it's fake, it's fake, it's fake.
Yeah.
Oh my god. W video again. Very, very scary. Very, very scary. I think I'm gonna call it here though, chat. I think I'm gonna call it here though. Thank you for being with me. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for being here. I will see you all, like I said, you know, I'm gonna be busy this weekend. So and I'll only be back on Mondays, so I will see you all on Tuesday. Okay, chat. I might do a editing stream tomorrow. Let's see. But yeah, there you go. Okay, chat. Have a good one. Thanks for being